everyone. Welcome to a echoey dropped frames, potentially, at least with my mics. I don't have soundproofing up yet in my new house.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's also an AC about 4 feet from my mic, so that sounds good, all things considered, really. It's one of those Windows AC units. Yeah. Kind of worked out. Yeah. It's quiet, though. It's quiet. Anyway, Zeke, I haven't been paying attention to the news the past 2 weeks, so we're gonna go through you two to explain everything. I will.
Oh God damn it! Why did you do this? I didn't prepare. Son of a bitch.
I will prompt the new. No, that's better. That's better content. I will prompt the news story, and then you guys can tell us all about it.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess we could just dive right in. Zeke, you look a little bit apprehensive about this whole subject, though. Are you okay doing this? Are you?
No, I'm the color guy. I'm not equipped for this. I make loud noises and fart jokes. I don't know what to do if I'm given a real job on this show. Okay. Today we have video game news.
No, I'm gonna intro the. No. You
there.
just expand on it. You're still color.
Okay.
I introduced the news story.
Okay.
So
I kind of just want to stay quiet during all this, to be honest now.
If we did a show last Sunday, the majority of the show probably would have been talking about the Helldivers 2 kerfluffle that occurred. But then that evening...
Double kerfluffle.
Oh, double kerfluffle. That
Double
evening at
kerfluffle.
11, they just tweeted out and said, like, nah, we're not doing that. We're just going to cancel the whole thing from the PlayStation account. But they still kind of are doing it.
No,
but yeah,
there was more.
Introduce the whole story. I'm going back on what I said. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. We're going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
Here we go.
There was Adam and Eve.
Sony.
Oh, yeah.
Helldiver devs. Okay. Helldivers 2 is a twinkle in daddy's eye. And apparently Sony and the Helldivers 2 devs talk. And from the sounds of it, from what both sides are saying, the concept was we want a big multiplayer game for PSN. The Helldiver 2 guys said, okay, we can make that for you. So then they made Helldivers 2. And the game came out. And it was all under the assumption the whole time. And Sony, keep in mind, Sony bankrolled the Helldivers 2 thing. So the Sony was like, okay. Oh wait, wasn't he the one that was supposed to be listening to this?
I know. He had to leave, I guess.
He's gonna get back and start asking a bunch of questions. So I'm just gonna wait.
So what cup is that? What is that coffee cup? I didn't see the logo.
Adrenas. This is I have Kofi now,
that's
dude.
Right.
Dude, Kofi. Look at this.
I didn't even set that up, dude.
Look at that. Bam. Thank you so much, Zeke. I'll toss you your $5 later. Is that your rate these days?
Oh my God. I feel sick now.
I set you up for I'm back, guys. It's Helldivers. Let's talk about it.
Anyway, okay. So we're gonna TLDR this because I just realized I kind of like took this story back to like, well, first my mother and father met, so let's not do that. So basically, Sony and the Helldiver 2 devs got together, said we're gonna make Helldivers 2. It's gonna be for PSN. Awesome. Helldivers 2 came out. The PSN requirement was there when the game came out. It said you need to sign into PSN to play this game, but there was a skip button.
Oh.
So already a little bit of confusion. Then it turned out that the Helldivers 2 servers were being super overloaded. And as part of that, the Helldivers 2 devs went to Sony and said, okay, look, let's turn off all the PSN stuff for now because we need to just have people play this game and then we'll turn it back on later. And Sony said, okay, okay. Now, of course, we can surmise that during that conversation, Sony said, hey, you made this game for PSN, and now you're coming to us and saying that we can't turn that on. Considering we paid for you to make this game, we're not super pleased about this, but okay. Since it does look like PSN may be related to the fact that this game is having so many issues, we'll turn it off. So then 3 months later, and God knows how many meetings between Sony and the devs happened of them going, turn it back on now, please. Turn it back on now, please. We don't know how many of those meetings happened. But 3 months later, finally, the Helldiver devs go, okay, we have to turn back on PSN. We have to. We're being told by Sony we have to. And when that happened, all of the fires started.
Yeah.
But the small issue is because a lot of that stuff that I had said was not super public knowledge, the only big public thing that happened was scrappy Helldivers 2 devs saying, Big Corpo Sony says do the bad thing. And that was the story for a while.
Yeah.
And so the issue here is that Sony is making all sorts of horrible mistakes. Nobody's super informed about the relationship between the devs and how that works. The devs of Helldivers 2 are seemingly really good, great devs and good people, but there is also clearly stuff that the public doesn't know about that was agreed to behind the scenes. And Sony is now publicly the big bad guy. The Helldivers 2 devs are publicly trying to do their best to like not piss everyone off. And to the point that you just made, when we were at that point of the story, Sony had publicly said, okay, we're going to stop forcing this PSN thing on you guys. In which case, the players got up and said, great, Sony isn't forcing PSN. The Helldivers guys won. The Steam review bombing worked. Everything's good. And that's where your story ends. Unfortunately, there is more to the story. And what that is that kind of while all this was going on, one of the big reasons this is such a big deal is because the PSN network is not available in over 100 countries where Helldivers 2 was sold. And that brings up all sorts of weird things because the developers are not the ones that decided where the game was sold. Sony was. So that brings up this question. If Sony was demanding the PSN is usable on this product, why are they selling it in countries where it can't be used? Why did they sell it in those countries and then not like immediately offer refunds? Steam was the one offering refunds. So it's this super weird, crazy situation. And then I haven't even gotten to the worst part. So while all this was going on and Sony was restricting the game and doing this stuff, and Steam is now refunding the countries, Sony started delisting Helldivers 2 in all the countries that don't have PSN. So now you can't buy it there. And on top of this, now they're doing it to the Ghost of Tsushima PC version.
I saw that.
Yeah. So like the crazy part about this whole Helldivers 2 thing is this is like 3 or 4 weird major not okay issues happening in parallel. And like people are kind of picking one and saying that's the issue, but it's not. There's like a bunch of stuff going on right now. All of it's shady and not good. And it's just really, really, really messy. So we're still kind of figuring out what's going on.
So it's not done essentially because the whole PSN and country stuff.
It is done. Like it's done and it's not done.
Yeah.
The Helldiver stuff is done.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's not being sold is clearly not done. But that's
it's
like
still not being
thing.
sold in those
countries. And now
countries.
Sony is doing it with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So now it's not only a Helldivers thing. Now it's a Sony thing. So, you know, again, it's a mess. It's messy and it's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
That seems like even covering it as you just did after it all happened, like living through that was probably a giant mess.
Dude, so much stuff happened over the course of 3 days, and so many people were coming into chat like not having all the information, but stating things like they did.
Yeah.
It was very messy. Like a lot of those days were just correcting people.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
No, that's not right anymore. No, actually this happened. No, Sony is now not selling it in those regions. Like, and you think it was bad for me. Like there's streamers like Pirate Software and Bruce Green, the people that play Helldivers a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently for a few days, it was just World War III in those chat rooms
chat, yeah,
of just people coming in that don't even play Helldivers and just going off on Sony and the situation. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but now, right now, Steam is refunding all stuff. Thank
All
God, as they
Helldivers
should.
2
All-
stuff.
And Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima went out in pre-orders in
Yeah.
regions that apparently it couldn't get. So they're refunding those. And Steam is doing that. Apparently PSN, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think PSN is now also, like if you could have gotten it through PSN, I think those are now being refunded as well.
So wait, how does that mean that people could buy the game, but they couldn't actually launch it because they can't get a PSN account?
I think the idea was that people could purchase it like online. You could purchase it for a PSN account, but then if you tried to play it on a PSN account in those regions, it wouldn't let you. So like for people that travel or maybe live in multiple
So
places,
hold on,
Jesus.
you're basically purchasing like a PSN FT.
I don't know. Also, as someone's
Man.
pointing out,
Dude,
as someone's pointing
buy
out
it,
in
but
chat,
there's nothing.
as someone's pointing out in chat, apparently there was a period of time before they put this in where you could buy it. So there was like a window where it was purchasable, and then they put in the restriction. Chat is saying.
So,
Shiro Scarlet says, even worse, someone playing in a restricted region got instant banned.
oh,
No,
God.
Mark Steele, the accounts are geolocated. You just had to create one in a supported region, and it works worldwide. Well, that's norm. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's just
you do that
VPNing
anywhere. That's just
stuff, yeah.
VPNing. That's
Yeah.
not it.
So then what the other thing that I remember reading as this was all happening, because I was on my phone just, Jesus, Sony and Helldivers on fire. I gotta go pick this box up. What was the deal? The original issue with Helldivers was server stability and like all the issues that they had when the game was just
Originally,
super popular.
was
that
yeah, it
because
was
of the PlayStation account linking?
so.
Is that why they
From
turned it off?
From what I understand, they thought that could have been a factor. It was not the reason. Obviously, PSN is a giant network that millions of people use all the time.
Yeah.
It's stable. But I believe in the course of their troubleshooting, when they were trying to figure out what the issue was, that was one of the things they disabled. I do not think it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, that's the reason the server sucked. No, I believe they still had issues after they turned it off.
Sure.
But I mean, they were working on a bunch of other things at the same time. So I don't know if they actually said that was the reason the servers died.
Got it. Okay. All right. Seems like a whole can of bullshit.
Yeah. And again, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of the stuff even I said could have been updated or changed. I mean, the situation was changing hourly. And I mean, it was very large and complex and still going on. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely recommend, if you are interested, and this is to you guys, if you're interested in looking more about it, go find some information on it. There's people who have been like tracking this hourly and like timelines. Definitely find one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, from one just
Well,
absolutely.
before we move on of
Okay.
Helldivers, I just want to know: are
Let's
you
hear
guys
it.
getting the cape? Are they making the cape?
Oh, I heard they are.
With the
What's the
the
case?
Steam
So
review
what
cape?
they did was the CEO took a screenshot of the graph of the Steam reviews that just went like little bad, super bad, like a giant down line, and they're going to take that image and put it on a cape for Helldivers.
Oh,
Steam review bomb.
okay. That's kind of
That
cool.
was kind of funny.
Yeah. It's kinda
Making
cool.
making some lemonade,
Yeah.
making an omelet.
I mean, the devs and we've said this for a while, but the devs and CEO seem like really good people for that game. So it sounds like they were kind of handed a piece of shit.
It
when
does.
all this stuff happens.
The realistic the reality of the situation is that the devs seem really cool. The devs are really cool on Twitter, but none of us know them, and
Yeah.
none of us know what was said behind closed doors between them and Sony.
True.
So give them the credit they're due, but don't act like they're infallible. Like, we don't know the situation.
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, when Sony and those devs shook hands, it was for a PlayStation Network game. And if that's the case, if that's what happened, then this whole situation is a completely different situation than what is publicly being talked about. So, you know, I mean, like, again, keep a level head in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and they did, yeah, and somebody said in chat, they did fire the community manager over all this. But to be fair, he did at one point publicly tell people to go downvote the game on Steam.
Yeah. That's
So I mean, like, I feel like that's one of those situations where he gets fired and the person firing him is kind of like, you know, we have to do this. We're sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, it's what all on your sword kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the people kind of like outraged that they let him go and stuff, and I was like, oh, what did he do? And they
Kind of
said,
got.
he told the entire population of Helldivers to go and downvote the game. Oh.
Isn't that something like, if I were in his position, that'd be something to be like, I should probably pass this by the person who can fire me. I could probably pass this by my boss.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
No?
Hold on. Real quick, and I don't want to get out wrong information. I'll need to confirm this. But Vengos in my chat just said, that's not why he was fired. The guy was a huge douchebag and deleted the original Helldivers 1 Discord.
Huh. Recently or just like sometime
I have
in the
no
past?
idea. I have
Oh.
not heard that.
Yeah.
I have not heard that before. But I mean, chat is saying that's true.
Huh.
Vengos says, but he did it a long time ago?
Yeah, I mean that's like Helldivers 1 is a super old game, so sounds like people are just like counting all the missteps prior to this.
I feel like we could do a news thing. Like, wait, we just had confirmation from Capavex in chat. He was a douchebag. Can confirm.
Well, I mean,
Right,
we have on the ground confirmation
here.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those
Becky
things.
has called
We have confirmation
for this candidate.
I like it.
Oh man, it's one of those things where you just said,
No,
like,
but yeah. So
you're judging
I
them
think-
by what you see on the internet and blah blah blah.
I know.
blah, blah, but still,
that being said, though, it does sound like there was more than maybe just that. We'll leave it at that.
To be honest, that's all a company needs. Like, you don't, if you're actively telling your entire customer base to go and downvote a thing, yeah, the company is in complete legal grounds to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very, again, situation's weird. I mean,
Yeah.
arguably, like, the downvoting is what kind of got the gamers what they wanted. So, like,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, but if I was the boss, I would have done the same thing. I'd be like, dude, the ends don't justify the means here, bro. Like,
Yeah. And I mean,
Well,
we
we
kind of
tell
had
people
to,
to
too.
downvote our game, even if it has good results, because that teaches a very bad lesson.
I guess the important thing, and someone in my chat, Ultra Wolf, says it wasn't just downvoting, it was also refunding. That's probably the bigger thing, is like refunding. If you're telling people to refund the game, you're going
Yeah.
against the entire company that you work for. But yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. Sounds like a complete
Big old
God.
cluster.
Could you imagine what those emails internally are like? just holding down question mark and email and hitting send.
Oh my God. I can
Just a
only
mess.
imagine.
Just a mess. Well, we can go from Sony over to Xbox, because they've had a hell of a week as well.
I thought Xbox was doing all right.
No.
Nope.
Friend of the show, Phil Spencer's got to be doing great, right?
Friend of the show, Phil Spencer, is MIA,
Yeah, he's.
What?
as far as I know. Yeah,
I haven't seen him
unfortunately.
say anything really. Yeah. I think this was on Mondays when all this stuff broke. Microsoft closed Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and more in what IGN's calling devastating cuts at Bethesda. You might know those companies as the creators of Redfall, Evil Within, Hi-Fi Rush. They also closed a mobile game studio called Alpha Dog Games, which made Mighty
Was
Doom.
making Mighty Doom.
Yeah, and Roundhouse Studios is being absorbed by ZeniMax Online Studios to work on Elder Scrolls Online, it looks like. But yeah, not a great thing at all. And it kind of started this. I think a lot of people, at least from what I was reading, and different people within the industry, devs and whatnot, they were putting out videos, and even at GDC, you were kind of there was this idea that like the firings are over, like things are starting to calm down, things are starting to like move forward,
A little bit more optimism.
Yeah, and there's like optimism, and then
Yeah, well,
Microsoft just comes in and like just rips everyone up.
I should clarify. The optimism was more towards the openings for indie companies,
Right.
Not necessarily so much for the continuation of the AAA behemoth
Yeah,
and machine.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, this has been, dude. The whole thing was just, and not only was it horrible about like the whole situation. Like last month or a month or two ago, Sarah Bond is posting on Tango Gameworks like 14th year anniversary tweet about how much they appreciate it. And then less than 2 months later, she's on a talk show justifying why they released them with one of the most vacuous corpo answers that has ever come out of a person's mouth.
Yeah,
It was one of the most uncomfortable, like she looked uncomfortable, obviously didn't want to be there, obviously knew what she was saying was just gibberish and vacuous. And like it was just, it's one of those things where you watch a human do something and everyone's in on how terrible it is, but you just kind of have to watch it happen.
it was
like,
definitely. I mean, to give some
horrible.
context to that interview, which I don't know if it needs it, because I think what you're saying still stands true. But It was with Bloomberg News. Bloomberg is like a big business centered news. It's not really like our side of the industry facing, so to speak. And those were the kind of the first two questions that hit in the interview because they happened earlier this week. So of course they're going to ask about those. It sounds like after those two questions, what she was originally planned to do there, which was probably, this seemed like it was at a seminar, so it was pre-planned, right? It was to talk kind of about their mobile initiatives and you know, for shareholders to be like, oh, Microsoft's doing great stuff. And then all this shit hit with Xbox letting go of the companies, and it sounds like it was just a bad situation of like, they should have just canceled that fucking interview.
100%.
They
100%.
should have not done that.
What did they
interview.
think they were going to ask her?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. That and you're right in her answer being like, yes, it was probably premeditated. Yes, it probably passed through a bunch of different hands in terms of how she was going to answer it. But you can't say anything good there. Like, no matter what you say, you're going to come off looking really soulless.
I feel like the answer to that question is like the state of AAA game dev.
Yeah.
Like that is where AAA game dev is these days, is that.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah.
It sucks.
And somehow that the Sarah Bond interview was like not the worst thing revolving around this to come from an executive. The next day, Tuesday.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Just before I continue, I just want to make sure it's said. This is everything that I'm saying, and I'm pretty sure them too. This is not a slight against Sarah Bond.
No,
Like,
we're talking about Microsoft.
She's just in a horrible situation.
Yeah.
And like, again, I wasn't kidding when I say, if you watch her answer that question, she's in pain. Like, like when they ask the question, you can see her in her face be like, like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's obviously a terrible situation. And clearly, if she would have known about this 2 months ago, she wouldn't have been responding to Tango's tweet with that message. So it also leads you to think that maybe she's kind of being led around in this situation. Not defending a six-figure corpo, just trying to add some context to the situation.
She was just the face.
It's important to mention. Yeah.
She was just the face
But
of the thing.
It does strike me as one of these like Microsoft execs in the background going, get out there and talk to them.
Well, I mean, she is an exec in her own right. I think.
Well, she is. Yeah.
Sarah Bond is she the president?
I want to say Phil is the CEO
look.
of Xbox Gaming, right? And then there's like a different name for
Sarah Bond is the president of Xbox. So
president of Xbox, and Phil is the
head.
CEO of Xbox Gaming.
I think he's the head of Xbox. They have like a weird structure, at least forward facing. I don't know what that means internally. A lot of times at these companies, like your forward facing title is not necessarily reflective of your.
Phil is the CEO at Microsoft Gaming.
And she's the president of Xbox Gaming.
If you're going by Twitter profiles, Phil is the head of Xbox. But like,
okay,
I wonder if you could pull up his LinkedIn. It says what it is. He's the CEO gaming at Microsoft on his LinkedIn profile. So
CEO of gaming at Microsoft.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Okay. They all just like, it's like, congratulations on your promotion. Make up your own title.
Yeah, titles are a weird situation once you get to like the C level.
I'm the CEO of streaming.
Most of those titles are like backed by some sort of like internal hierarchy of like, oh yeah, he's a level 7. Oh, okay, so he's like C tier. Oh yeah, blah blah blah, like all that shit. That's truly how that structure works.
Is that the Bumblebee or Grasshopper level? Which
that's how it works.
Do I get the Go ahead.
Make it sound like a D&D adventurers party.
I mean,
it's like that's level 7 there.
I know
I'm
know
level
how
4.
the corpo works. That's how it goes. I know many people on those internal rankings. Anyways, so a bunch of sevens got together.
Level 3 CEO.
Yeah.
So what do I do? He's got a black belt in gaming.
Accurate. So that all happened. And then it just kind of like continued to have just silly things occur. For example, the
Oh,
following
Matt Booty's thing.
yeah, the following day. So this all dropped on Tuesday. The following day on Wednesday, The Verge first reported that when did this happen? I think it was at like a town hall, an internal town hall. Yeah, Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, held a town hall to discuss the division's future goals. And the big quote that came out of that was, quote, "We need smaller games that give us prestige and awards."
That's so good.
Great.
So good.
This
Maybe
is
maybe some like super well-made, stylized, kind of like, you know, musical, artistic, really well critically reviewed game. We could call it, I just don't know, Hi-Fi Rush.
yeah.
That
Like a
what you're thinking,
rhythm
Matt?
game. Yeah, that sounds great.
Is that what you're thinking about?
It won a game award. It won a Game Developers Choice Award, and it won a
lot of
BAFTA
prestige.
a month ago. It sold, or rather,
You know,
it had 3 million
here's the thing.
players. Who knows how many sold? That's probably
I
indicative,
feel like
but-
I feel like Matt's onto something with that, but I feel like there's like an important part of that tweet missing.
What do you
Maybe
mean?
like something else he needs from the title outside of that.
Yeah. What are you getting at?
Maybe
Money?
something. Maybe that's. I think
Can't
think
put
that
my
might be it.
finger on it.
that might be it.
Is it
So
money?
he wants all those things and also
money.
it to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I guess that's
Yeah.
the part that Hi-Fi Rush didn't do, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
The big like statistic is 3 million players. They don't say 3 million units sold.
those
because
are-
of
those
Game
are-
Pass.
Game Pass players.
Yeah. But even then,
So
like
we now live in a world where Microsoft made Game Pass,
Yeah.
makes games for it, and then when they only get played on Game Pass, they go, "Well, didn't sell enough copies,"
yeah,
and shut down the studio.
And it really, really sucks for gamers because I feel bad playing games on Game Pass now. Because they're
Their
not going to make
entire
enough
model
money.
is flawed. Everything that if that's how they're going to treat their Game Pass system, like their entire model is inherently flawed. Like they don't know what they're doing with their Game Pass if that's how they're going to treat their Game Pass. Like that's insane.
Well, it makes you wonder. There's no way for them to like track
Not at all.
a game's success through Game Pass if it's generating income inside of the Game Pass ecosystem, right? Like,
So knowing that, how could you possibly have a well-functioning business?
yeah. I mean, at that point, you're kind of you would liken it to almost like running a Patreon on like a global scale, right? Because it's like
Yeah, sort of.
this month we're down X amount of subscriptions. We need a hot new game or a hot new piece of content or a hot interview to like up our subscriptions next month. It's kind of crazy.
What's the last we heard about Game Pass? I remember there were years and years going by that we heard Game Pass was not making them money. And then didn't we get a news thing at once where it was like it broke even or was a little profitable or something? Help me out here, chat. This is
Yeah,
one of those things where we've heard so much news that I don't even remember what the last one is.
I'm trying to see. Are you talking like numbers?
I'm talking about they every so often they come out and say like a big public statement about Game Pass. And I remember recently they had a big public statement, I think it was last year. And I can't remember if it was saying that it had just become profitable or was still unprofitable.
As of February 2024, they had 34 million people on Game Pass, but I don't know anything about like profitability.
Does chat know what I'm talking about? Do you guys remember what we're talking about? It was an announcement or something. It's like a news thing.
This is from December of last year,
Okay.
where Phil Spencer spoke to Game Pass's decision to shell out more than $1 billion of content annually to keep consumers engaged. We have a service that is financially viable, meaning it makes money in Game Pass. We've put a lot of money into the market, over $1 billion a year, supporting third-party games coming into Game Pass. What we see in Game Pass is a
He
service.
just said that it's profitable.
Yeah, that was December of last year.
Maybe that was it. I think that might have been it then.
Yeah.
Because there was a long time when we were being told directly it's not. So there was like years went by when we were told Game Pass was not producing profit. So, okay. So as December of last year, it is profitable, which makes this whole situation even stranger. It's like, if your Game Pass thing is profitable, why are you closing down the companies that are putting on the critically acclaimed games that you made for Game Pass to make it profitable?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Is the only way like services like Game Pass
Not
and even like
profitable enough,
Netflix
maybe.
or that kind of shit is the only way they make money, like, or the lion's share of their money is from new subscriptions?
So it used to be, but I mean, these days there's a reason that you see like different tiers, and now you're seeing ads come into play and like all sorts of stuff. So back when these services just started, subscriptions carried them, but as there's been more and more competition and that pool gets shallower and shallower, they're all diversifying in different ways. So yeah, these days, no. These days you have to pick your tiers and packages and all that. At least I don't know if Netflix is like that, but I know Prime Video is like that, Hulu's like that. A lot of places are moving that direction.
Yeah. I mean, it for most of these
Disney's
companies,
just soaking up everything.
Disney's conglomerating. Like what is it? I opened the Disney app yesterday on my TV, and it immediately loads like 6 other apps that
Yeah.
you then have to go through. And it's just like,
yeah.
Great.
I mean, the biggest thing for pretty much every single one of the companies you just named, it's not about like earnings, it's about growth, right? And so like the second they see growth start to slow down, they're like, wait, we're dying as a company. It's over. Because like there's no,
syndrome, man.
it's as you, they've gotten so fucking big that like there's honestly nowhere for them to grow. And so then they're just like, the sky's falling. We're not making money. We gotta do it. We gotta grow, right? And that's like capitalism, and you're really just encroaching on like the conversation of capitalism and how it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
corpo
the
capitalism.
the thing is, like, we've been so inundated with that, me personally, and I'm sure many others out there, streamers wise, like, we're a microcosm of that. Like, if we don't see our numbers going up, we feel like a failure. I know I do. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't see a steady increase, or at least like, keeping the numbers that we have, God forbid we see like a dip.
Yep.
It's just like you feel like a giant failure when you're doing fine. Like, I have to tell myself, like, dude, you had a bad week. You're doing fine. You're still great.
Yep.
One of the things I tell especially newer streamers, as is funny enough, exactly what you're talking about. A lot of people see consistent numbers as negative. But that's actually a huge positive, because every single channel on Twitch loses viewers naturally.
Yeah.
That's any normal Twitch stream. Every time it gets turned on, goes down in viewers. That's how it works. You're always, but if you're regular, that means you're getting new viewers as you're losing old viewers. That's great. You're treading water. You're making progress because you're actually gaining viewers. But yeah, it's all in, in understanding the metrics.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry, I got distracted. This is a white web page. And
Did you get one of those seasonal depression
You're
lights?
you're flash bombing yourself.
This is like how bright this fucking monitor I have is. It's crazy. Anyway,
Flashbang out.
it's really bright.
Wait, which one did you end up going with?
I got the Asus 4K. It's like the Asus PG 32 something or other.
How do you like it?
It's great. It's the best monitor I've ever owned. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah. If you're wanting to get into the 4K world, definitely go that route. It's the best looking OLED, best looking monitor I've ever had. Anyways, I do want to go back to the Xbox firing off the studios. I saw so much conversation around it, and I did want to just like echo it. People like Alana Pierce, who had a video, who works on God of War as a writer, and people like Jeff Gersman, who's just a long time seasoned, 20, 30 year in the industry journalist. There were so many people like them who were just saying like, why the fuck would you want to work at Xbox right now? Because you put so much passion, so much of your time into these games, and it goes out and it like, you've got CEOs, you've got everyone saying like, man, you guys you're killing it. This game's awesome. You win awards. You do like a whole thing. And what is your reward at the end of the day? You fucking lose your job. Like
It
that's
reminds
crazy.
me. It reminds me of like sometimes the relationship I had with my dad is I'm like, Dad, I got 2 home runs. He's like, well, it wasn't 3, was it?
Yeah, and then your dad.
Motherfuck, what do you want?
It would be similar if then your dad punched you in your face and said, "We'll see you next year. Get better."
No.
You're
Here
not
it
my
is. Here it
son
is.
anymore.
Here it is. You hit 2 home runs. Hey, Dad, I hit 2 home runs. Sorry, son, it wasn't 5. Punches you in the face. You don't live with us anymore.
Yeah, then they kick you out of the house.
Go find new parents.
And then your mom tweets out something defending your dad like Mike Ybarra did.
No. Then your mom tweets out, I love my family so much. My family's so great. It's just so good. And there was nowhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah, it's God, man. It's just
Speaking
crazy.
of, did you see that? Did you see that tweet by Mike Ybarra?
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, he was
Thank
defending
you,
the
Kat. Thank you.
CEOs, right?
He was defending
like
Phil,
Mike.
yeah.
Yeah. Phil, sorry, not Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying like he's like, and we've met Phil. He seems like a decent guy, but he's also a corpo. So
Yeah.
like you got to take the good with the bad.
Well,
but
The
he's like,
thing that
think of
sucks.
the Phil.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks that people need to understand is one of the primary reasons that top tier executives are paid so much is because it's their fault when shit goes wrong. That is one of the reasons that they are so well compensated. So it is, yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, it's okay to understand the context, but you have to understand they're a human, but also understand their position and the fact that, they have a really nice car so they can be sitting on that show taking those weird questions. And that's
Yeah.
like Phil came on here. I'm not jealous of him for that. But he gets paid a lot of money to come on shows like ours.
Yeah.
And deal with people like us.
I don't feel
It's terrible.
I mean, I think like when you go to the crazies out there, like death threats and all that shit, that shit is unacceptable. But like
Completely.
coming on shows and like taking those interviews like Sarah Bond did earlier this week, like, yeah, that shit sucks, but you're in that position
It
to
sucks
do that.
for her, but she chose to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
It's how
But it
is.
does suck. It sucks, but yeah, that's where
And,
we are.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the definite, like a lot of responses were like the wiping away tears with like $100 bills and stuff like that. Like that's exactly it. Like you don't have to feel bad for them. That's their job. Their job is to take fire like this when their fucking company makes bad decisions
Yeah.
or shitty decisions or heartless, careless
Oh.
decisions.
You want to know
Yeah.
the best part? You want to know the one sentence that will just make you so happy about all this?
Okay, sure.
The bonus that Bobby Kotick received for leaving
Yeah, I saw this.
could pay the salary of every single person that was let go for 17 years.
Yeah. It's
How do I get that job?
well, here. God damn it!
Isn't it like
I want
That's so-
to be like, but he like started the company 30 years and he bought it for a certain amount and built it into what it is. But like, fuck Bobby Kotick. Like, at the same time, like, fuck Bobby Kotick. Right? It's just all fucked. Because yeah, I saw that quote. I was just like, God damn it. 17 years for how many employees was it actually? That got I never saw a number attached.
none
to
of the studios were giant, but I mean they were all decent studios. Also, somebody asked this earlier, and I'm gonna answer this because it's a great question.
it. Sure.
They said, "Chat, what do you think about Avowed?" Or "Co, what do you think about Avowed?" After all this, my answer is that I am terrified for Obsidian.
Dude, I'm
Because
terrified
let me tell you
for
why. Let me
anyone.
tell you why right now. Avowed's not going to sell well. Avowed's not going to sell well. Last thing they showed from it, not a huge amount of hype for it. A lot of people, pretty mid takes. Am I excited for Avowed? Yeah, it's more Obsidian. I love Obsidian, but I'm an Obsidian fanboy. Do I think Avowed's going to do well? No, I don't. And it sucks. That's where we are. So I am horrified that Avowed is going to come out. People are mostly going to try it on Game Pass, realize it's not what they want, not buy it. Avowed's not going to sell well. We're going to wake up to a tweet from Obsidian saying, hey, great job on all the Fallouts, guys, and everything, but it's time to say goodbye to Obsidian.
Is now I saw someone put it in chat. I don't know if it's true. Is it in Exile? Are they a part of that?
Oh,
They're-
absolutely.
I mean,
In-
they're part
in
of
Exile,
Xbox. Yeah.
In Exile has a giant
Okay.
new IP cooking. It looks awesome, but if it's not, they're probably gone.
I mean, the bigger elephant in the room for me is Hellblade 2. Comes out in 2 weeks. That game's not going to do well.
I don't know. It's pretty hyped. And Hellblade 1 did okay, didn't it?
I mean,
No.
I don't think it did that great. I think it was a beloved game, especially within the industry. But for the grander world,
It's another Hi-Fi Rush, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And it, it's previewing well and all that stuff. But
I love
still,
how Microsoft like shotgun bought all these studios, and now they're like, wait, all these small, tiny studios aren't making us millions and millions of dollars?
Well, yeah. There's so much of it, right, that is chasing the Helldivers, right? They're chasing the POW world. They're chasing these smaller games that just
Here's the thing, though,
balloon
JP.
to
Here's the
massive
thing.
numbers, and they're never
It's
going to find it.
It's one thing to invest, to invest in a company, to give
Sure.
them the resources to develop their thing. That is a risky but lower risk. Microsoft is buying these companies. So the only out for them is the horrible PR of shutting them down or selling them.
Mm.
So in a case like Microsoft's, should they have gone out, and now that we're seeing how they're reacting to their companies, is it a kind of thing where they should have done what they did, or should they have maybe done it completely differently? Or like all of a sudden that really good thing they look to do, they might have done shotgun investing in the form where it's kind of like they just bought as many studios as they could afford with the hope that one of them would make a POW world and all the others get shut down.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I mean,
That's basically how investing works in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they were just doing that on a public level where we all thought they were trying to build up these studios. They were doing the opposite, where they were buying them just to see if they would make money, to take a chance, to take a risk. Not we're going to make you build good things. We're going to buy you. So if you do, we'll just make a bunch of money. And if you don't, we'll just toss you to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of all of these companies, that's the goal to begin with. In the highest of high overarching thought process, that's what everyone's trying to do. But it's impossible. You can't figuring out that POW World is going to blow up like POW World did. No one could have seen that.
No one could have guessed that.
Yeah. No one in the fucking right mind could have. Helldivers. No one could have guessed that game was going to blow up. It's impossible to find that stuff.
Which is one of the reasons you have to take risks like Microsoft. You have to take those
You have
chances
to kind
where
of
you
do
just,
what they did.
you
I
just
guess.
buy the studio. Well, I mean, again, the proper thing would have been to try to do more investing and maybe keep
Yeah.
your face out of it. So if
Yeah.
the game fails or whatever, it's cool, we lost some money. But by tying their company name to it, now they're dealing with this.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing what happens when you decide to take the route they did instead of behind the scenes investing.
I mean,
Now they're dealing with all of that, and this could be just the beginning. This could be
Totally.
the first domino of the we literally could have seen the first domino of the Embracer Microsoft arc.
Yeah. I laugh only because you're right. If you look at where Xbox is right now, just as a brand, they don't have that they don't have the Halo, right? They don't have any of that. They have a Halo game, but it doesn't carry the same weight that a Halo did
it's
in the Halo
completely lost.
2 and 3
Yeah.
days, right? There's no
it's a different thing.
identifying game for that entire IP, and now the identifying thing for the
Whoa.
IP is oh yeah, they bought those companies, then closed them.
Smoked. Is that because you are an employee or know someone that is, or is that in the news somewhere?
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like
If
a
you
good thing.
if you could link me where you read that, I would appreciate it, because that's Bloomberg reported it.
What was this?
Microsoft is offering voluntary buyouts to ZeniMax employees.
What is that? So that if they want to leave? Was that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
That's you can go before we tell you to go.
Yeah, I mean
That buyouts generally happen when a company knows they're going to do layoffs, but instead of actually firing people, they want to people have buyouts, so enough volunteers leave so they don't have to do the layoff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the other thing. God, I forgot who reported
Oh,
on it.
oh, thank you. Somebody actually linked it here.
But people were reporting that like this stuff that happened regarding all these companies this past week, it's the first to come. Like they're not done with that stuff.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. I'm sure, dude.
So not a
But
good.
again,
not a good look.
the only slightly good thing here, the only slightly good thing here is kind of like Embracer and kind of like Microsoft. We're seeing the top AAA foam start to dissipate. Like this, like what we're seeing with these major companies is the breakup of like a lot of what traditional AAA gaming is and was. So the only kind of silver lining here is these could be the eggs breaking for the omelet that is hopefully going to be a much better game, a much more healthy game dev industry. As somebody, I think one of the either the Tango guys or someone tweeted out, every company knows in the back of their mind that when they sell, that's the beginning of the end. When it comes to this game dev stuff, like when you sell your game dev company, like that is the beginning of the end of your company, be it all the talent leaves or it gets shut down or it gets sold again or something like that. So if it gets into the culture of game dev, that they keep seeing the Tangos, they keep seeing this stuff, then it's going to be the kind of thing when we see these companies get bought, we're going to be like, maybe we'll go look at that indie. Maybe we'll go look at these. Like the culture is going to start changing because of all this stuff happening. That might be what game dev needs to start moving in a better direction. Because frankly, we've been moving in this terrible direction for a decade. Like this has been getting worse and worse and worse and worse for years and years and years and years. And we're just now seeing it start to crumble. We really saw it at the beginning of Embracer, but now we're starting to like see the more effects of it. So hopefully with a little bit of optimism here that this is going to be like all of the kind of monolithic stations, the more permanent fixtures start to crumble. Hopefully that'll make more room for indies, more forward, healthy looking companies, things like that. So
yeah,
we'll see, man.
My only, not necessarily a rebuttal, the like asterisks for that. It was, I think it was Alana Pierce that said this. I don't want to take credit for it, but she had a great point that like, it's not just AAA studios that are closing. Like every single day an indie studio closes, you just don't hear about it because it's 5 people.
Because they don't have a huge hit or
and like it happens so often that I hope you're right, but at the same time that like a Tango closes or gets shut down or whatever, there's 100 indie studios that are closing every month.
That's true. But for every one of these AAA studios that closes, it's another game that AAA is not going to make money on. And the gaming pool is getting bigger. More people are spending money on video games. So my point is that as these AAAs start losing more and more of these potential indie hits that we're seeing, like Palworld, we're going to see more and more of those transition to indies. We're going to see more and more Core Keepers and more Terrarias and more Stardew Valleys and like games where people play them because they're amazing games full of passion and awesomeness, not because they're full of amazing cutscenes and mocapped voice acting and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's two sides. I definitely see Alana's point to that, and it's 100% true. But I think both are kind of in some ways. I don't think they go against each other.
Yeah,
As being an optimist, I am completely. I'm literally saying the optimist.
Is definitely being an optimist.
Oh yeah.
But
it could get real dark.
Well, I feel like everything you're saying, I'm like, well, actually, Sarah Bond.
Cool. No. We're talking.
Sarah Bond was on in that interview. She like opened the interview and said that like, yeah, gaming's not growing at the moment. Like it's plateaued. Like everything
Gaming isn't growing.
Everything that happened in like COVID is now like kind of slowly starting to go down. And so that's why they're starting to, do what they're doing right now. Which I thought was kind of crazy to hear, but I guess what they're ultimately saying is that like the growth of the industry has slowed down like tenfold, not tenfold. That's a made up statistic. It has slowed down compared to like COVID, which, yeah, that makes total sense. But I don't know the actual like rate of slowing down that has occurred. But that's definitely something that they're out there saying that like, yeah, gaming's slowing down. blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if that's just corpo talk of like, yeah, there's no infinite growth.
I mean, here's the deal. I immediately start Googling that. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff saying that gaming's great, still on a meteoric rise. I see multiple things talking about how all industries are going down with the economy, but
Sure.
I don't see anything about gaming plateauing or getting less relative to other industries.
I mean, we can pull up. Well, I don't want to pull up the whole Bloomberg interview. But yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. And then, well,
I
I mean,
hope
are we
you're
talking
right.
about like mobile industry and stuff too? Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's. I think when you look at everything through the lens of the pandemic, yes, everything is.
Maybe she was
is
talking
getting
about
worse.
Xbox's growth.
Potentially.
Oh,
Well, this is how I view it in my head. That's how I view it in my head. This is the gaming industry, right?
Yeah.
It goes bloop 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 and it goes up, and then there's COVID. But they're thinking about it like this, rather than taking that chunk out
Yeah.
and thinking of it like that. You know, because COVID
as-
was
as
a
Chad is
random
saying-
weird time.
Zeke, that was a penis. If you could please try to
Was it?
Yeah.
It was a nipple
It
at
was.
best, a witch's nipple.
remember who we're broadcasting to. Come on now. If it's like 0.1 a penis, it's a penis.
You don't even know who I live with. She sees boobs and penises everywhere.
There we go.
Yeah.
Drop frames. That's right.
Anyway.
Industry insight? No. Is it a
somebody
penis?
pointed-
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So somebody did point out, by the way, and this is important to mention, there is a lot of survivor bias for indies as well. And I think Alana's post kind of alluded to that too, where it's kind of like, you know, and that is a really good point, especially like my commentary from GDC, like it cost $1,000 to go to GDC. So all the people you're talking to there are probably doing okay. You know, so they're going to
Yes.
obviously be a little optimistic. So it's that kind of situation. But yeah, so even with that factored in, though, it's still like, I don't know, it's still pretty tumultuous.
Yeah. I go back to what I said, like with the whole Xbox thing and echoing what all those folks are saying. Like, it's got to just suck knowing that any moment you can go into your job and like that week is the week that your fucking company gets closed down. And there's probably writing on the wall internally, right? But it's one thing to see the writing.
Really? You say that. 2 months ago, Tango was celebrating their 14 years
Yeah, I
around.
guess that's true.
And the CEO of the company that fired them was congratulating them on it publicly. So, if anything, that shows me there was no writing on the wall.
You might
That
be
shows
right.
me
Yeah.
that shows me there was a board meeting a week before it happened where some of the wrong people got really uppity about them not making enough money, and then out of that meeting, you know, somebody walked a handwritten letter to Sarah Bond's office, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to remove these companies by Thursday, so go ahead and make a plan for that.
Yeah. It might be true. Someone, Jinx in my chat provided, regarding the industry, the executive director and video game industry advisor at Circana, who is NPD, who puts out all the statistics, basically NPD numbers of like game sales and all that stuff. He used to work at Activision. I'm just reading his Twitter bio. He used to work at Activision and Warner Brothers Games. He basically said this was in February. And so I think
2024?
this was, 2024. He said, quote, "Survive 2024," end quote, "has been the key theme of my convos with publishers and retailers so far this year. Industry spend CAGR. What does that mean in business terms? What does that acronym stand for?
Is that the
Compound
difference
annual
between
growth rate.
yeah.
Compound annual growth rate has been basically flatlined since the pandemic. No significant upside room for players/hours growth. Cost keeps rising. Market's got to get to GTA 6 and hope. So, I guess.
Oh, wait. What? So, but then there's stuff like How World? Like what
Well, that's, you can't plan for that. That's like.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can't plan for that. But I don't like so he's saying the whole industry is making less money and companies are not able to survive because of that as of February of this year. Now we knew the game industry was already struggling. But is that like the industry or how much money the industry is making?
I mean, it sounds like he's pinning that all on compound annual growth rate. Has been basically
Which would be all the money
flatlined.
the industry is making, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So the issue is that the profit is basically flatlining, but the cost of the
Cost
AAAs
keeps
is
rising.
still going up,
yeah. Games are so
which we
expensive
know
to
with
make.
game pricing and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's been a thing for
But
a decade at this point. Longer than that, probably.
Huh.
Just
So
something
the
to
issue
think
is
about.
not. So the issue is not that the games are not selling as much. They're selling about the same. The issue is that everyone else is just trying to spend more to make them and not making it back.
Yes, I think that's correct. I think the other side of that, which maybe
It sounds like that's a great place for indies.
Well, yes, it's a great place for indies, but it's also, I think a lot of this is also happening just because no one buys consoles anymore and everything is on these. Like, this is what makes money. Right? No one wants to buy a $500 console because they've got this and they could play a lot of games on this. They might not be the same type of games or anywhere near what everyone watching the show at this point wants to play. But for the majority of people, this is all they want and need. Because why would I've already bought a $1,000 phone. Why do I want to buy a $600 console that just plays video games when I have a phone that can also do everything else a phone does? Which is,
Even make phone calls.
Yeah, you
which
can make
we never
phone
do
calls.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whenever I talk to
don't-
somebody anymore, it's over Discord.
I think the mobile game market keeps exploding because it's penetrating so many markets that have not normally been in gaming because
Yes.
everyone has phones on them. But I don't think that it means that it's going to replace standard gaming. You?
I would say that it kind of already has.
Like, I don't like playing on a small screen. I think there's going to be a majority of the population that always feels that way.
I think, like I said, everyone that would ever hear our words on this show feels the same way you do, myself included. Everyone else is like, I got a phone. Like, why the fuck do I want any of that other shit? It's just unfortunately how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the majority of the world that has like a job you have to go to.
There
Stuff
we
like
go.
that,
I was
like
going to say,
gaming
I was gonna
on
say
the go,
a lot of people only mobile game because it's the only time they have on the train or commuting or while they're driving their Teslas or whatever it is. So, I mean, yeah, I mean that
Normal
part, I think,
people
is
don't own
normal people. Oh, do you know how much a used Tesla is now?
How much? I know. I don't know that statistic.
About $8. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh God, they're horrible. Yeah, like, oh man.
They
I
come
know
in like
that.
a 6-pack? Can I get like a few of them?
I'm kidding. I have no idea. No, I've heard the Teslas get cheaper, but I don't think that cheap. But,
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
but it's. I think the interesting thing about mobile gaming is just how many people, the amount of mobile gamers you will talk to that have never played anything besides a mobile game. I would argue is over half.
Yeah.
So it's it's a different audience.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to say that all of that stuff doesn't filter into like our neck of the woods, right? Like there's probably people that buy a mobile thing and are like, oh yeah, let's get a PC. Let's play that Baldur's Gate type deal.
True.
But those are very
Sorry.
small.
Real quick, as chat's pointing out, the Tesla's $8. The battery pack is $55,000.
Yes. Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. Anyways, what else is going on in the industry? God. Nintendo was out there and they're just like, hey guys, we're Nintendo. We're gonna make an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch the next year.
These guys put on entire freaking showcases for like Yoshimaru 2, like something no one ever heard of. And then here we go, like talking about one of the most anticipated things they've ever done. And some dude's like, yo, what's up? It's your boy from Nintendo. Yeah, Switch 2 info coming soon. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They could have made this like a 2 million viewer event.
I just love I love their tweets that's like, this is Furukawa, the president of Nintendo. They do it like, this is Miyamoto, blah, 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 Nintendo. Then they talk about like the Zelda movie or whatever. This is apparently how Nintendo does it these days. Via a tweet. All this information was out there. It just wasn't confirmed. And so maybe that's why they didn't go through the whole thing of planning a giant event and filming all that stuff. But yeah, they're doing a Nintendo Direct this June. It's specifically going to be for the software lineup for the later half of this year. There will be no mention of the Switch successor during that presentation, but they still plan to release it, it being the Switch 2 sometime this fiscal year So between now
Which
and
is
I think
wild.
March
That
of
alone
2025
is wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have they confirmed like it's going to be called the Switch 2, or are they just calling it the Switch 2 in media?
It is currently being called the Nintendo Switch successor. That I believe is they've used that terminology a couple times publicly.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask is because they've never done that. They've never used a number. It's the Wii U.
Yes, and
we don't. You know,
That is true.
there are rumors that it's not a Switch 2. There are rumors that it's a new console. So, I mean, they're kind of known for doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, who knows? We just all hope we're not going to get another. What was that thing called? That like middle console between the Wii U or whatever.
The Wii U, yeah. The Wii U,
Oh.
yeah. The Wii U
I
in
love
so
how
many
many
ways,
people
though.
in the fucking chat are
Switch.
missing the point.
It was
Sorry,
kind of.
It was.
It was. But again, if the tech isn't there, if the whole picture isn't complete, then it's a No Man's Sky on release.
Yeah.
So,
And there's been conversation. We talked about it, I think, on our last show about the hardware that they're going to be focusing on, like 1080p 60 and not going anything crazy in terms of resolution and all that stuff. So we will see. The biggest thing I think for most people, chat, tell me if I'm wrong. I think most people just want backwards compatibility, so all those Switch games that they bought, they can actually play at 60 FPS. Right? That's probably.
give me Xenogears at 60 or give me another console. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
not going to play it on that shit.
Exactly.
That's just where we are.
Give me anything at 60 FPS on that console, apart from like a Mario or something like that. So, that's what Nintendo's up to. They're just making money.
Very boss move though.
Yeah.
That was like, especially in this day and age, like, GG guys, my lord. I'm not even like the biggest Nintendo fan, and I saw that tweet and was like, who are you to be this like badass?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Oh man.
You are not wrong. Let me continue pulling news. We can talk about, I guess, today's latest outrage news thing, and probably
Ooh, a new one?
rightfully so. Yeah, this is the Marvel Rivals controversy. Are we at controversy stage? I don't know that yet.
Acting the fool, I think is a good way to play it. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. We are at pre-controversy right now.
We're at pre-controversy, okay? We're not
We're
at
at
DEF
pre-controversy.
CON. Where is DEF CON pre-controversy? Is it like
Controversy
4?
is if they enact somebody with that.
Yeah.
That's controversy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like, whoa, like that's a streamers rise up moment.
Well, I mean, okay, let's introduce it.
Yep.
I don't think they will, Coke, because they've already said that they're going to change it. So I don't think that's going to happen.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It should that should have never been in there. So
Yes.
in fact, I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
I think, I don't think
I
it
was
can hold
told
up
a
to
long
FTC
time
law.
ago that stuff was illegal. So I don't exactly know where that is, but one of the Twitch people, when I was talking to Twitch about contracts, I asked if they could do that specifically. And they told me straight up, no, that's illegal. That's a commercial, which is a different contract, different thing. This is not that. They can't tell you to do that in this style of contract.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Let's introduce that and it.
Oh, chat's saying
'cause,
say what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are still confused. So the premise to this all is Marvel Rivals launched into its closed alpha test, I think, the CAT, the CAT, on Friday this past, on the 10th of May. And a bunch of creators were immediately hit with a contract. I was not one of them. I simply just got a key in which is also kind of weird that like some creators got this.
Ever sign a contract for a key. Like,
Yeah,
that's
some creators got this, some other creators didn't. I never even saw this, so it makes it seem like once they saw the interest that they wrote this. I don't really know where it came from, but this is what most people were greeted with when asking for a key to play Marvel Rivals. Siegel is a very
and keep in mind, this came to light after many streamers had already signed it and not read it.
Yeah.
So this all started when I believe Siegel started contacting people and being like, yo, are you actually signing this? Like, you'd be crazy. And then a lot of people were like, oh no, what are you talking about? I just hit accept to get a key kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the real controversy started being crazy.
Yeah. So this came out from Siegel last night. And the agreement reads, there's a non-disparagement clause, and it says the content creator agrees to not make any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game being Marvel Rivals. This includes, but is not limited to, making disparaging or satirical comments about any game-related material, such as a game features, character, or music, engaging in malicious comparisons with competitors, or belittling the gameplay or differences of Marvel Rivals, or providing subjective or negative reviews of the game.
I love the last line. To me is the most like, do not say you don't like the game. And that is the only way, if you agree to that, that we will give you access to our game.
Yeah.
By agreeing and promising you won't talk badly about it.
And like it, I don't, I think
Even says satirical in the second line. You can't even
joke about it. Yeah.
About it.
My
Listen. We know it's an Overwatch clone, but you can't say it. Okay, don't say it's Overwatch,
This here,
or else you're in violation.
That's right.
This here has total Square Enix vibes. When Square Enix stood up and said, "Do not compare our Splatoon clone to Splatoon. That's incredibly insulting to us." And it's like,
very much so.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop doing that. Sorry.
I'll just reiterate my tweet around this, because for me, all this, it does nothing good. It completely taints any conversation around this entire game, whether you're a creator, a viewer, or a dev themselves, because like, I will say, yeah, I've been enjoying this game. I put 10 hours in this game. I was playing last night off stream. Most people are going to hear that, rightfully so, because of this, and go, yeah, dude, sure. Wink. Like,
chill harder.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna say, and I can't be like, well, actually, no, because this fucking agreement
More importantly,
exists, which I never signed.
Here's the thing, JP. Why would you? Like, and that's another thing.
Sure.
Like, why, as somebody who had to sign a contract like this, like, why would you ever, like, want to like defend that? Oh, it's like, oh, you think it's shitty? Cool.
Yeah, and that's how I was on stream. Well, I was, to be honest, like, for some reason, chat thinks, and this is if you're offended by this, I'm sorry, which is never a great way to start out a statement.
I was gonna say that's not the best.
But
way
if
to
you're
start the
offended by this, I'm sorry. When you join in chat and say, oh, is this Overwatch, the Marvel skin? You're not the first person to say that. You're probably the millionth person to say that. It's not an original statement. No one laughed. No one smirked at your conversation. We literally just looked at you and said, welcome to the fucking party, pal. Get a seat in this fucking room.
I just want to preface
JP,
this.
my man, hold on. Brother.
Hold on, Coke. Let me get this out real quick.
Please
because
please.
I think I was the first person to come up to JP and go, hey, how's the weather up there?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because he's tall. And he laughed and laughed and laughed.
That's exactly right.
So here's the thing. I see where you're coming from. I get it. Have you ever heard the term biting the hand that feeds? Because here's the thing. JP,
finish your statement, then I'll read.
You just attacked 96% of the people watching the show.
I know. Look,
okay.
I'm all for a better chat, okay? And that's
you
what
might
I'm
have
trying
just,
to do.
You could have just canceled us.
You could have just canceled.
Is anyone still here?
I don't know. They've probably all left. They're probably all going and telling everyone their brand new joke they just heard in a Marvel Rivals chat.
You're dropping into Lyric, playing Little Kitty, Big City. Hey, Lyric! Did you know?
No, they're writing that shit down for the office.
Yeah, I mean, I made
got their crib notes.
I made got a little flashcard. Hold on. You're gonna love this.
Oh man, it's
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, that's people are like, oh yeah, he was acting like that because he signed the contract. No, I was acting like that because I heard the same joke over a million.
You didn't even sign the
fucking times.
contract, right?
And I
Yeah.
never even saw or signed the contract.
No,
It
funny
had
enough,
nothing to do with any of that.
after one of the first things I did after I saw this tweet and put up my own snarky response is
Yeah.
look into Marvel Rivals. I was like, okay, now I'm actually interested. Like, does this game suck? And I looked around I looked at a few streams that were streaming it, and I looked at some of those like little preview things. People are like, yeah, if you like Marvel and you played Overwatch 1, that's what the game is.
Exactly.
So it's like, and I saw somebody being like, yeah, I have like 400 hours in Overwatch 1. I hated Overwatch 2. Marvel Rivals is basically just like Overwatch with new heroes, and I like new heroes in Overwatch, so I like this game. They're just like, it feels like an expansion to Overwatch 1.
Like,
It's kind of like, okay.
the joke that I was just making a huge deal about, seeing nonstop in the chat. It's true. It's Marvel. It's Overwatch in the Marvel
That's what
world.
everyone's
That's
saying.
what it is. And as someone who played Overwatch, I think I gave it Game of the Year that year when it came out. Someone who likes Marvel and is a giant Marvel fan. Yeah, this game is
Overwatch
great.
reskin.
I'll show it here in a little bit so you could just see how much it is like Overwatch, because everything about it is very
this
much
is Marvel?
Overwatch. Yeah, this is Marvel Rivals. This is footage from
Oh.
yesterday. It's very much Overwatch.
I thought we were doing like a before and after thing.
No, like this is the game.
Okay.
It's
Do they use the same fucking font?
I think they do. That's the first thing I looked at, and I was like, that even looks similar. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the
Like,
same font, but there is a lot of similarities
I
in
wonder
UI
if-
and everything.
I wonder if the font lean is if they like measured the angle and copied it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
A lot of
No,
the heroes are.
I heard about it. I never watched any gameplay, but then just watching that, like down to the spray painting of your symbol on the wall and shit like that, and then like the font. That first I was like, go, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
This is legally
Holy
distinct to Overwatch.
shit.
Yeah. It's very similar. Like the heroes
Listen,
even have same abilities.
JP, you listen here, meow.
Okay.
I don't want any satirical comments. I don't want comparisons.
No, I didn't sign.
I don't
didn't
want
sign
any.
the contract. I
Stop
didn't sign the
hating.
contract.
I don't care.
Oh, this supersedes the contract? Okay.
No, by watching it, you agreed to it.
Oh shit.
Should have read the fine print.
Fuck.
Now, how far does the satirical thing go? Because satirical is like opinion based. Like, if I said like
Well, that's why
Doctor
it would never
Strange, more
hold
like
up.
Doctor Crap, or something like that, is that satirical?
That's it!
Like,
So dude, some guy wearing
Zeke's
like
done.
no. They're gonna be wearing an actual jersey for the cup. They're gonna run in with like a hat and a whistle and a card, and they're just gonna get one of those big wooden hooks from like the 50s and just pull you off the side of your stream. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. It's gonna be called.
man.
oh yeah,
gonna be
no
called
subjective
corpo-otting.
opinion, no subjective negative opinion. But what about objective? Because like, so I just want to like you do like a fact finding. Like, this is proven by fact that Doctor Strange is the worst
Zeke.
player on like statistically on this map.
Dude,
You have to give like a
Zeke is,
presentation about why your points are valid.
Zeke is in court, sitting in the witness stand with a judge to his right, and he's talking to the lawyer. No, sir, it objectively sucks. The game sucks. It wasn't subjective. It's garbage. It's a garbage game. I was not in the wrong. Give me my channel back. It's a garbage game.
Oh man, that makes me laugh. Yeah. So they really shot themselves in the foot before they even they're not even out the gate. Like, this game's not coming out till next year. I think it's 2025 scheduled release, and this is what people will know it as: the Overwatch clone that says don't say it's an Overwatch clone.
I'm honestly like, the bigger question to me is, why are they fucking bothering putting that shit out? Like, why do they even give a shit about when people say it's like Overwatch? Overwatch sold a gajillion copies.
Yeah, it 100%. I agree. Why would you not welcome that? Because it's such an easy thing to be like, oh, it's Overwatch, that game that has a second one out right now that no one is having fun playing, and the community constantly bitches about how they want a new game to play.
I mean, if I was in the business with them, I'd be like, this would be my pitch. It'd be like, you know that other game you used to like? Well, have we got a new game for you?
Yeah. I honestly think it stems from NetEase, which is a very mobile game focused company, doing mobile game things and it being in China. Like, I think that's probably the crux of a lot of this.
Also,
Yeah.
what is one of the largest, most crazy overnight successes that we've seen this year?
Oh, Power World. Yeah, Power World copying
Pokemon with guns.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Power World had given out keys and be like, don't say it's like Pokemon. That's the only way we're going to give you a key. Don't say it's like Pokemon. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, that would have probably destroyed the entire thing. That would have, like, killed the inertia.
Yeah.
At least on Twitter.
And the really funny thing is, Power World is nothing like Pokemon, and this is exactly like Overwatch.
Not wrong.
Oh,
Not wrong.
man. Yeah.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
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 It's funny.
So we'll see. It's definitely not a great start for them. That being said, like I this is one of the games I played the past week, so we don't need to have a longer discussion than that. If you like Overwatch and you like Marvel, this game's got all the heavy hitters of Marvel. They've got a massive roster that was actually, I think, in the files, and so that roster has like leaked already, so you can go find the full roster for every character that they want to put in the game, or have already put in the game, and they're not in the closed alpha test. And I had a lot of fun with it. My biggest feedback, I have like 3 big or 4 big feedback points. First and foremost, ranked needs role queue, and so it's not when you play or queue up for
A lesson that
ranked at the moment.
Overwatch learned, right?
Yeah, and I would say that that's maybe a little bit divisive because some people really despise role queue, but I'm on the camp of like I want role queue so that we don't have 5 DPS and 1 healer. I think that that's fucking stupid. I think the game needs a better sense of feedback in terms of almost everything. Like when you're shooting, there's a very slight feedback, but it's not great. When you die, because it's third person, I think in Overwatch, the way that it shows that you died, it would like zoom out and go third person. They can't really do that here. So your character just falls over and the camera like stops. And that's how it shows that you died. So it's not like a super... The game just kind of lacks giant amounts of feedback is maybe what I'm getting at mostly.
By the way, just to kind of talk, because this played into what we were talking about earlier. It's a little off topic real quick, but since we're kind of talking about it.
Sure.
Polish Power says, aren't companies like this the epitome of what's been killing the industry the last few years? Why give them the time of day if they're actively participating in the detriment of our hobby? Polish Power, what you're saying is in many ways correct. To put it bluntly, obviously they do bring games to us, many of which we enjoy playing. But I would say overall, the large companies are absolutely, especially lately, becoming more of a detriment than a positive. That being said, what you just said is something that every one of us needs to decide. So the next time you do buy a AAA game, like ask yourself, am I good spending $60 on this or getting V Rising and Core Keeper for the same price? You know, like that's the kind of stuff that when we were earlier talking about the transition of gaming culture, about like that's what needs to change, not us up here, not the companies themselves. What needs to change is gamers going, I don't want to pay $70 for that new game. I would rather buy 3 indies. And if enough people do that, then what you're talking about is exactly what's going to happen. That's when it's going to start working. So
what you're saying is that the model of my stream is changing the world. Thanks. Thank you.
I do think that's like a pie in the sky optimistic approach, because that would only work if like so many people.
Here's the thing though, JP. The companies are already crumbling. It's not like they're, doing great. And if we all stop buying stuff, they're going to, get a little less money. They're falling apart. Look at Embracer. Look at Microsoft. I mean, these companies are shedding millions of dollars.
Yeah, but
Embracer has lost
Microsoft is worth
billions.
like 3 trillion. That's 3,000
true.
billion.
That's true. That's true. And they're sucking
Stupid,
enough.
buddy.
They're sucking enough to where they're killing off awesome studios that they're saying are great 2 months earlier because that's how poorly things are going for them right now. They're taking giant PR hits because of how poorly things are going for them right now. So I absolutely think that, especially at this stage more than ever, if people actually start voting with their money, that would make a huge difference. You don't think so?
Yes, 100% it will make a difference. Will
You're
enough
saying that
people
it won't
actually
actually
do that? It won't actually happen.
That's fair.
Like you're the optimist, and I think Zeke's being the realist, and I'm bringing you guys together and being like, yeah, that's never going to happen. Zeke's correct.
I think the whole premise of vote with your money is
Oh, I agree.
always optimistic unless like survivability is at stake.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I've always
yeah,
been in that
yeah.
camp.
I'm not. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
Yeah,
But it also
tough.
like if it's a multiplayer game, man, no matter how good it is, you don't want to play a game with very few people in the game. Like if it's a multiplayer, thing,
yeah.
it just sucks. Like how difficult it is for indie developers to make a multiplayer game that actually takes off because it has to have people in it to make it fun.
Yeah, that's
And
also
that's
true.
just it's
And-
rough, dude.
Yeah.
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 100%.
It's tough for sure. And I think we could bring everything that we just said back to this game. This game will be successful because it's tied to the Marvel IP. And a lot of people will be like, oh, Marvel's not what it used to be. Marvel's one of the biggest fucking IPs in the world right now. So,
You got to be careful with that, actually, JP.
I think this will 100% be fine. You don't think so?
You gotta be, no, think about the Marvel projects that have happened recently.
That's what I just said, though.
think about Marvel. Think about Marvel Avengers.
Sure.
Think about the online games. Think about how much resources went into them and how quickly they closed down. Think about how much Microsoft is paying for the Marvel license.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the different things that go into a game like this. If this thing like flops, like, that's huge. That's
Right,
huge.
but here's the difference, though, is that those were bad games. This game's fun. Like, and I'm the biggest Marvel Avengers apologist, I guess, because like I found the fun in that game, but like this game's fun. It's Overwatch, which is a proven fun game with Marvel IP.
The thing is though is the Marvel, like, and when you bring in a Marvel IP, that's going to raise how much success it has to have, right?
Do what? Sorry.
When you bring in something like wait, what were you laughing
I don't
at?
know what Zeke was
I
laughing
was
at.
laughing at because he's like, and they went like this together. I'm like,
I don't know what that was.
I was just thinking like, yeah, last time I was at JP's house, that's how he made me a sandwich.
I gave you a peanut butter sandwich and just went like that. Yeah.
He just went like this on it. And I was like, this sandwich is all smashed.
Hold up.
Good.
Wow.
What were we gonna say, Coach?
Now I guess now I understand you're bound by contract, so you can't say what you need to. But I
you
will say
son of a bitch.
for someone in chat that
I
says
didn't
Cohen
sign
hates
the
Marvel, I don't
contract.
hate Marvel. This has nothing to do with hating Marvel. Marvel's fine. Like it's more of an issue of just like looking at like Marvel Avengers, looking at these other games that had these giant roadmaps. They obviously wanted to pour a bunch of resources into them. They couldn't because the players were like, this isn't great. Like, do you really think that this game will have the power that those didn't?
Yeah.
I mean, the others were based on other games too that were successful.
Yeah, but they were bad. They weren't great games inherently. And great is also a weird thing because like I think where this game's going to be successful, and they've already proven as such, a lot of this game rides on the art style, right? And if they launch this free to play, which I would assume is going to be the case because it's NetEase, and of course it's going to be free to play. What you're going to be buying is skins. They have 80 to 90 years of skins to go buy to go and create from comics, right? So you have an endless amount of that. So success is already going to be people buying those skins, which is kind of like the League of Legends thing. That's where League makes all its money, right? So if you get people in the door and you give them a skin, as long as they don't price that shit too crazy, it'll be successful, I think, by that regard. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when this comes out a year from now, I'm completely wrong. But
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this was a $70 game. I didn't realize.
I don't think it's. They haven't said. It might be $70. I would suspect it's free to play.
the idea of this being free to play with dress up your favorite Marvel hero cosmetics, like that yeah, no, for some reason I thought this was going to be a $70. Which was why I was like, this is going to flop.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
no, that's a little more understandable. Also, I didn't realize this was being produced by NetEase. So wait, what is?
Yeah.
Is it Marvel and NetEase only?
Yeah. I think it's a NetEase internal studio. And NetEase has already worked with Marvel on a bunch of mobile stuff. I think they do a bunch of things. I forget what those games are, but they've already worked together in the past. So
Does that mean NetEase is the one who sent those contracts out?
probably, yeah. I mean, I think that's who runs the Discord, is a NetEase whatever employee. Why do you ask?
Because I've heard of contracts in China always having that kind of language in it, and I'm wondering if they just got mistranslated when coming over to us.
That's, yeah. I mean, this might break an NDA, but well, not an NDA. I didn't sign anything. Let me go back and say this as many times as possible. One of the employees, I will read this verbatim.
Mistranslated quotes.
It says, hi creators, we're aware that this is 2 a.m. this morning. Hi creators, we're aware that there are inappropriate and misleading terms in the commitment regarding sharing non-disparagement content. We sincerely apologize for any miscommunication and your unpleasant experiences. Our stand is absolutely open for both suggestion and criticism to improve the game, and our mission is to make Marvel Rivals better, satisfy players by those constructive suggestions. We're now working on revising the miscommunication terms for our commitment. The progress will be shared with every creator in a timely manner. Marvel Rivals always welcomes creators. Join our community and create amazing content together with us. Content creators are respected not only as a player, but as part of the community. Blah, 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 blah. Sincerely, Marvel Rivals content creator team.
Time out. What did they call their own contract language at the beginning? Inappropriate?
I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, we are aware that there are inappropriate and misleading terms in the commitment regarding sharing non-disparagement content.
Inappropriate contract language in the contracts they provided. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
inappropriate.
I think it is what it. I mean, I think
and then
it
what was that part?
inappropriate.
What was that part? Like misrepresenting or like we're sorry that it was
We
misconstrued.
sincerely apologize for the miscommunication and your unpleasant
Miscommunication.
experiences. Yeah.
That's exactly what a contract shouldn't be. That's like the exact opposite of a contract should not be. It should be the most infallible piece of paper is a contract, and it should not be miscommunicated.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's why you have contracts.
Somebody goes, man, I didn't know that those AIs worked for those types of companies. But that's some very weird language to use.
Again,
So they view the language saying that we can't talk badly about their product. They view that as inappropriate language.
yeah, according to this statement at 2 a.m. in the Discord, which I may or may be breaking some.
Well, I mean,
Thing,
inappropriate or baseline illegal. Maybe that's a word they could use.
Well,
Like, we apologize for our illegal use of.
it's illegal
What
in
is
the
with
U.S.,
large
but it's not
companies
illegal.
doing all this like weird
Yeah, true,
stuff,
true.
It's
man?
not China. Yeah, it's legal in
NetEase
China.
NetEase is putting out contracts where they use it language they call inappropriate. Sony is selling PSN games in countries that don't have PSN. What are AAA? Microsoft's firing companies after telling them they did a great job a month earlier. What is going on up there?
I don't know. It's
What,
crazy. It's crazy, man.
It's like every company is competing on which can act the fool the most. And then Nintendo just comes out and is like, yeah, we're gonna release a badass new console. We'll see y'all in like a year.
Well, I mean, let me look real quick to see any other news.
Don't you have a smoke machine there, Co? Can you do like a smoke bomb?
Oh god, it just blew my head.
What? What did he do? Oh, he dropped his headphones. I thought he broke something.
He just ran over one of his dozen 4090s that he's got sitting there. No
Yeah,
big
that's on his throne. Yeah.
deal. One of the jewels on his throne chipped off.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we're not done with AAA, guys. I thought we were done.
Jesus.
Are you guys ready for the next great comment from a AAA developer?
Oh, wait. I looked this up, so I got to get it out. I looked on ftc.gov.
Okay.
If you offer an incentive for a review, don't condition it explicitly or implicitly on the review being positive. Even with that condition, the review should disclose the incentive because its offer may introduce bias or change the weight and credibility that readers give the review.
Yep. So in
yeah,
that case, they would have to say in the contract that that person is legally required to state that the contract says they cannot deride or negatively talk about the game. That is one of the reasons I believe we don't do that. Is because they don't want us on stream being like, hey, I can't talk badly about this product and I'm contractually obligated to do so. Enjoy the show. Like that's why that stuff doesn't work. So that's why you never see anyone doing it. It's because we don't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In the 12 plus years, I've seen one other contract have that in it. And it was almost a decade ago. And I actually want to say that there was controversy around it, but I don't recall what game it was for. Maybe there was a mobile League of Legends competitor 6 to 8 years ago that went around for a while. And as part of the contract, they said, like, do not mention League of Legends during this broadcast and do not say that League of Legends is better than this game. No. Something like that. There was that. It was for Shadow of Mordor. That's what I remember because it was a massive
I remember
thing.
that. Yeah.
It was a massive thing.
That was fixed really quick though, wasn't it?
I want to say it was, yeah.
Didn't like a bunch of sponsored contracts went back and then a bunch of management teams were like, our teams aren't signing this.
Yeah.
They tried to do something like what Marvel did, essentially. And all of the management teams read them for the sponsor streams and it's like, we do not feel comfortable with our people doing this.
Yeah.
And they changed all the language and sent it back out.
If you actually, I Googled very quickly and found it. In 2016, the FTC ruled on this, that Warner Brothers misled with paid-for positive Shadow of Mordor videos. And this was actually PewDiePie who put out a conversation about it. Or at least put out a state about it. And the video was in 2014. And that the FTC, I think this actually prompted the FTC to maybe start releasing the guidelines for this shit in 2015. So
at one point, Twitch had to get involved.
Yeah. It's
Twitch
definitely
had to
occurred
step
before.
in. Yeah, because I think at some point, like they were threatened with legal stuff, and they were like, "Okay, we have to not Wild West this situation."
Yeah. Warner Brothers, through its marketing partner Plaid Social Labs. Holy shit, I haven't heard that company in a long time. Was also found to have instructed YouTubers not to show any bugs or glitches they discovered. So, yeah.
Now, what's even weirder is this is an alpha, isn't it?
They are calling it a closed alpha test, yeah, for Marvel Rivals. But
So instead of just saying don't stream it, they said you can stream it, just don't talk badly of. It's even like to show what is it, an actual alpha or is it a demo?
I mean,
like, is it alpha? Is it a marketing alpha or is it actually an alpha?
I do think that they will change stuff in the game, but I don't think that like the game is going to. I don't know. They're calling it closed alpha, so you have to, I guess, go by that. That's what you go by. What do I think it personally is? I think it's a marketing alpha, 100%.
Well, the reason I asked that is because it was an actual alpha. The idea of showing an actual alpha and not being able to like talk about what you're seeing and why it's an alpha, and you know when somebody says something dumb about it being a finished product in chat, you have to correct like to not be able to talk negatively in that's like a nightmare streaming scenario. It's so weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to come up with like, oh, the game crashed again. That means I can go make some popcorn. Thank you.
I needed another cup of coffee.
Like, oh, you're reminding me to hydrate. Thank you. Okay,
So,
I'll get another glass of water.
That whole thing is like exactly what I meant by my tweet. If you stream this game, it's probably not even worth streaming at this point, apart from people just being like, what is that game? Because no matter what you say, it's gonna be like, oh, you must have signed the contract. That's why you're positive about it. Even if you're joking or not, Zeke, like it's
you just have to put it in your title.
I didn't sign the contract.
No
Streaming Marvel
contract.
Rivals.
This is a contract-free stream.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think
I'm
honestly,
contractually obligated to tell you.
in order to like allay all those suspicions, all you have to say is Marvel Rivals. This game is shitty, awful, terrible. Like then the people.
Or just put that in the title. Yes, there you go. Done.
This game fucking sucks. And it says like
Yes.
uptime 10 hours.
This Overwatch clone sucks full diapers. Okay.
Yeah. Jeez. Jesus Christ. So yeah, the Rivals CAT closed alpha test I think runs for 10 days. So it goes till the 20th, and then we'll see what happens after that. I still think it's 2025 for full release. I think that's what they're targeting. So
Yeah, DL Phoenix, that's that. Earlier, we were talking about if this was a controversy, and I said it's not a controversy yet. And what you just said is what I'm talking about. DL Phoenix says, I know someone who was definitely sponsored and still made multiple references to Overwatch immediately. This will get bad if they decide to do that. However, like JP said, they've nixed it, right? They've said that they're not going to do anything and they're not going to worry about it and it was all a mistake. And like, have they walked it back completely at this point?
Well, I mean, we are now working on revising the miscommunication terms from our commitment. I guess commitment is agreement there. Again, it sounds like this was there's some lost in translation here, which maybe the contract is also lost in translation. But it sounds a little bit weird because, yeah, we are now working on revising the miscommunication terms from our commitment. Progress will be shared with every creator in a timely manner. So, I guess we'll have to see what that actually looks like.
So the big takeaway for holy shit, that's Farah. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
Zeke, that's Iron Man. Okay, and some could say
For the record, I would like to point out
that Iron Man
No,
existed
stop.
before Farah, and that Blizzard actually copied Marvel to begin with. Zeke, I mean, I don't want to pull out the comic references, but
a man that has less than an hour in Overwatch was able to instantly peg this as an Overwatch clone.
But I have a bunch of hours watching Ammunition, so
there you go.
That's fair.
There you go.
And is an angel.
Yeah. No, I mean, Doctor Strange has a shield just like Reinhardt. Like the comparisons are astronomical in terms of what's out there. Like there is Scarlet Witch is basically Moira when it comes to her attack. The Hulk, like you turn into the Hulk, Zeke, as Bruce Banner, and then just like Diva, when you're killed as the Hulk, you turn back into Bruce Banner and you have to charge up your ult to become the Hulk again as Bruce Banner, and you have a little gun. Star-Lord is basically Tracer, but also has like Death Blossom, which is the ult of Reaper, as like a normal ability. So
how is his butt though?
It's great. He's got a great butt.
Is it?
I would say.
It does.
Yeah, the voice actors, by the way, are pretty much all the same voice actors from like the Guardians of the Galaxy game. They've got like Nolan North is Iron Man, which is I think was in Marvel. What was that the card game that wasn't a card game but was a card game from XCOM that?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Never gonna
Midnight Suns.
There you go.
They've got all the voice actors for that, for like Doctor Strange and Iron Man, and they got Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is basically Genji in this game, but Black Panther is also Genji. Like, there's 100% direct parallel, Zeke, without question, between all the characters of Overwatch, without question. So,
well, all I gotta say is I might pick it up if you put Gambit in there.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Because everyone's got someone from the comic world. They're like, I fucking like me some Gambit. I like me some bro. What if you got... So they have like team up abilities, right? So like if I choose Scarlet Witch...
Guys, we're losing them.
If I choose Scarlet Witch and you choose Magneto, then you get like an extra ability for your character, right? And so if you have 6 people and you get like all X-Men or something... then maybe there's like a group team up or something, or maybe it plays the X-Men. I don't know. That type of shit though is why normies, I think, are going to be like, I could play me as a Wolverine. I want to play that game. How much it costs? It's free. That game's free. I'm gonna download that right now. And
Are
then
normies Southern?
when I say normies, I mean Southern gentlemen. Yes, Zeke and co. That's exactly. That's what I mean. 100%. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Thanks for including me in the know.
Yeah, exactly. Now you know.
Now
you
I know.
Now you know. We're not done with AAA because Electronic Arts was like, wait.
No.
We need to do something stupid so that people talk about us. So CEO Andrew Wilson stepped up and started
Taking one for the team, Andy.
in a EA's latest earnings call. Eric Sheridan from Goldman Sachs asked Wilson about the dynamic ad insertion in traditional AAA games. Wilson said, quote, advertising has an opportunity to be a meaningful driver of growth for us. He then continued, quote, we have teams internally in the company right now looking at how we do very thoughtful implementations inside of our game experiences.
Guys, calm down. He said thoughtful. Thoughtful.
Yeah, he probably researched that in the mirror when he's like, thoughtful. We got to include that in there.
Going to Wikipedia. THO. What is that?
No, it was on his Peel word a day calendar. It's like, I'm going to use that in a sentence.
Words to use today in a corporate environment.
Is Andrew Wilson the one that I've always called the Merovingian? Is that, I forget, Andrew Wilson. Yes, that is the Merovingian, 100%.
Oh, wow.
Does he look like him or does he just act like him?
He looks like him.
Okay.
He's been at EA for like a decade at this point.
This is going to be so random, but it's one of those things that I feel compelled to say. For some reason, I thought the Merovingian was that creature from the labyrinth with its eyes on its hands that went like this. So I was like, he looks like that.
Oh, I don't know what that guy's name is.
I was like, damn, that's a...
I've never even seen that movie, but the second you did this, I knew exactly
It's a
who you
looker.
were talking about.
Yeah.
That's an awful image of a monster.
I know, right?
No,
funny enough, very
Merovingian's
corpo.
Matrix
See it.
from the Matrix. Yeah.
He's
he's the one that owns the like bar and has all. Let's not get into the fucking Matrix lore.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't like judging people on their looks, but like, dude's giving me like Ted Bundy shit. Like, he's giving me vibes. like I look at him and I see a nice house with nothing in it.
He's a perfectly great human, but he also wants to do some stuff with advertisements, thoughtful advertisements in their game experiences. Yeah. Wasn't there also a quote from that earnings call where they were talking about AI and like how they're like getting ready to...
Why not? Sure, let's do that too while we're talking about topics people love to hear. Maybe at the same time we could talk about how much AI, like how good it is at writing dialogue and voice acting. Maybe you could just throw that out there.
Oh, no,
we
there
were
was. Yeah, no. This is the quote. Games Radar headline, EA boss doubles down on commitment to AI, believes, quote, more than 50% of our development process, end quote, will be impacted. Yeah, that was in the same call.
No. That's okay. Stop. That's okay. That's totally okay. If anything, that's where AI should be used, in the development pipeline. To make that faster.
He said
to speed
process,
that process
not
up.
pipeline.
Yes,
Just
well, that's process.
same thing. Yeah.
That's okay. I think the issue that most people have problems with is when AI replaces human creativity. AI voice acting, artwork, dialogue, that stuff. Like that's where I think most people have very meaningful, real problems with AI. There's some phenomenal AI stuff happening in 3D model, rasterization, animation pipeline stuff. All of this stuff is great AI implementation. This is just going to make games get made faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically his talking points were exactly what you just said.
Okay, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, let's not alarmist over that kind of AI because that's great. That means that people that make games will be able to make games faster. That's all that makes.
No, AI bad. bad. AI bad. Zeke smash.
Yeah, I'll read it said Wilson continued to tout the technology, claiming it would make the game developments, quote, more efficient, and that, quote, we've moved from being able to create stadiums in 6 months to 6 weeks. I guess that's about, yeah. He also compared how FIFA 23 launched with 36 run cycles or animations, while EA Sports FC 24 had 1,200.
Chat, I'm not being sarcastic. Do I really have to? I'm being serious. Let me give you an example. I went to GDC, saw a lot of great companies that are making like the next tools in AI game development, right? So one of the things that I saw while I was there is a great presentation on this very AI-centric technology that makes it so when a 3D modeler makes his model, instead of then having to spend like 2 to 4 hours putting on all the vertexes, putting the skeletal stuff, doing all the stuff that is just like mundane work. They can't make creative stuff because they have to do this other stuff. There are now programs that will do all that in 5 minutes.
Yep, and that's
so the artist literally does their creative work, and then instead of spending the next 2 to 4 hours doing all the back end, they just take their creative work and put it in a thing, and then start working on their next creative work. So it's like, that's awesome. That means artists get to make art instead of just like all the mundane back end stuff. I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay. No, AI taking out.
He didn't sign the contract, guys.
Okay, chat in here going.
The AI taking out the tedium of creation, like the tedium that comes with creation. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ko is saying that's fine.
Yes, and well, no, and here's the thing. People then obviously go, oh, well, you're talking about a rigger's job. Oh, you're getting rid of a rigger. No, I just means now when you give that model to a rigger, instead of him spending 2 to 4 hours rigging one model, he can spend 2 to 4 hours using AI to rig 50.
Guys,
and yes, he's going to have less work to do, but that is how technology works.
The EA boss is beating you both at the talking points. He says the EA boss reiterated that using AI would help the company build products, quote, on a global basis at a faster rate, and allow developers, quote, to get to the fun more quickly. It's a great way to put it. He also claimed that, quote, there's a real hunger amongst our developers to get to this as quickly as possible, end quote. So,
and there will always be the discussion on both sides where technology takes a job. Oh God, person lost a job. Technology bad. That's been happening since the printing press.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But again, like, there's all sorts of positives that come with that. So like, yeah, sure. Some people are going to lose their jobs as you don't have to do things that technology replaces. The people that did those things will need to find other things to do. But that's how it works. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to tell, like, time moves on, it happens. So like, sure, there's cases where that's not the best thing, but when it comes down to like raw busy work, like that's where it's different. You know, when it comes down to having one human write by hand 3,000 pages or a machine doing it in 5 minutes, like you really have to kind of sit there and be like, why don't we just have the machine do it? Like that's where AI is good. That's where that works, is when that kind of stuff gets replaced.
And I will say, that's not to say what Coach has said isn't scary, because it is. Right?
Oh, completely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And companies definitely have it in their mindset to try and, lower cost but increase profitability so that they hire less people, blah 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 blah. But like what Ko is getting at is good inherently. It's a forwarding of the technology ultimately.
Is Ko gonna act like this when the AI streamers take over? Brother, they're already AI streamers. I converted to AI 6 months ago, bro. You kidding me?
You motherfucker!
I'm probably on a beach with my my kids somewhere.
Yeah. This whole show is AI. It's all a bit.
Hence the quality of it. Bananas only grow on bushes.
Exactly. 100%. I think that's it for AAA's past 2 weeks. God damn, what a crazy it's been.
You brought up the EA like advertising and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
It's for those of us who play like story games out of Japan. Like the advertising in games is just fucking disgusting and rampant. And it's fine.
Looking at you, Yakuza. Woo!
Boss coffee, baby.
Oh, sure.
That shit worked on me. I went to Tokyo, and every morning I went to the vending machine and had myself a Boss Rainbow. Delicious.
Yeah.
And it was hot out of the vending machine, which was so fucking weird.
I have to admit, it is hilarious to think that inevitably, knock on wood, when I one day make it to Japan, I'm going to make it a mission to try as many things as I have ever saw in Yakuza. That's like a goal. It's like a checklist. Like all the products I saw in Yakuza, like that is my goal, to go to Japan and buy those products.
You won't have to look very hard.
It worked.
I'll tell you that.
It worked.
They're everywhere, yeah. And
Is that terrible? I think it worked, but it's horrible. I'm fully cognitively aware that I'm being fully influenced, but I still am okay with it.
it's advertising, quote unquote, done properly, right? Because like you feel good about buying the product, but
Yeah.
it's still advertising at the end of the day. You're not offended by the advertising, so yeah. EA will probably figure out how to buy Starbucks. And that it's just going to be a thing that says buy Starbucks that fills the entire screen. Instead of like, you know, a cute character's quest around Boss Coffee or something like that. Yeah. We'll see how they implement it or what they do. I'm sure the kerfluffle around that will be very large and very wide whenever they do go
Very
that path.
in charge.
Yeah, yeah. The nice thing, I guess, if there is a nice thing, apart from all this AAA stuff, is like indie this past week, kind of killing it. It's been a good week, I think, for indies, certain indies, I should say. Hades 2 came out of the blue and launched into early access.
Beautiful.
Holy
Beautiful.
shit, that game's fucking awesome. That game is great. And it's very easy for us to talk about. We don't even need to show it. You know Hades 1? That's Hades 2. It looks great. It plays great. There's a ton of
wonderful.
content. You can play it right now. $30. Yeah, and just like Zeke, so many people are avoiding. They're trying to avoid the story aspect and the content of the game.
No, I love.
They want to wait for
honestly
1.0.
love non-story spoiler whatever those reviews just like your generic blanket like thumbs up thumbs down, and it's just thumbs up everywhere, and I'm just like yes,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to play it in a year. I already own it, so I'm like it's staring me in the face like
Yeah.
install me, play me, come on.
I did.
And I'm like no, I want to play it when it's 1.0.
I did a stream of it, and then I started playing off stream on the same thing. I don't think I'm going to stream it again because a lot of people are avoiding it for story purposes and waiting for 1.0. And I've just been skipping the dialogue and just playing the gameplay. And like it's fun. I feel bad skipping the dialogue because everything's voiced and everything's gorgeous and it's all like 10 out of 10 what you expect. But the gameplay is what keeps me in there. Like I start a run and I'm like, oh man, if I had this upgrade on that weapon, should I just restart and choose that weapon and see if I could? Like every run is like, God, I wish I just want to restart and like get a whole new build going. It's awesome. Hades 2 is great. Shocker. There's nothing else to say on it from me. Like it's as good as you think it is.
Speaking of, we were talking about earlier, the jokes that people come in. It's like that's the 100th time someone has said that. How many times have you gotten Hades 2 nuts like in your chat? Like jokes.
I've never seen that one actually.
Really?
No.
I didn't even play
That's
the
a
game, and I
first.
got like a dozen people coming. It's like, have you played Hades 2? Hades 2 nuts already.
Zeke, I think that just speaks.
Is it
to
my
me.
chat though?
I think that's being Co's elevated chat compared to yours.
Yeah.
Where we're just like,
Yeah.
we do quality jokes about how it is Overwatch skin Marvel. Right? That's the quality.
Yeah,
that we
chat.
get.
That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
I love you guys.
Totally. Don't change. Don't ever change.
I wouldn't swap you for any other chats.
Yeah. Hades 2 early access. It's good. I wonder how long they're gonna. Did they say how long they're gonna spend in early access?
About a year. I think they said about a year.
God, what are they like? That game's already so big, and there's already so much stuff in it. There's placeholder art for a couple of things, so I know that's what they're gonna add.
There is a streamer that I watch in the mornings because he starts really late. His name is Celerity. And he does a lot of runs that are like super high level and like really difficult and stuff like that. And I saw in his title that he was doing like Hades 2 challenge runs or whatever. And this is the kind of streamer who will do like, 100 runs in a game just to like min-max and get it perfectly and stuff like that. So I tune into there and I'm like, oh, I'm sure. Like, I wonder what Hades looks like after you've exhausted the story.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I wonder what that Hades is like. Cause I'm sure that's where he was. And I tune in and like the next screen he gets to is like a major god saying story dialogue. I was just like, like, how long is this like day 4 or 5 after? I was like, how? I can only imagine how much actual content is in that.
So wasn't there claims that that Hades 2 Early Access has more content than Hades 1 did? Or something like that? I saw that a bunch.
That's wild.
I don't know if that was true.
I don't know if it's true, but yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah. Everyone in my chat saying, yeah, it's bigger. So that's fucking awesome.
Just to throw my quick stuff in here. Hades 2 is, when they said they were going to remake Hades, I was like, Supergiant's amazing, but I felt like there was a reason they never remade their games. Was because they're really good at like all these new systems and new things.
Made sequels, you mean?
Made sequels. That's right. They always do something new. They're known for that. So when I heard Hades 2, I was like, oh man, it's going to come out and, you know, like hopefully it's going to be different enough and hopefully it's going to be fine. And I kept telling myself, as long as they just give us more Hades, we'll be happy, right? Like don't reinvent the wheel. Like please don't make this like Hades 2, like some weird new thing. Like let's. Hades 2 came out. I played it now for a whole stream, 8 hours. Freaking awesome. They nailed it. Like it feels just enough like Hades to feel at home, but they've changed enough things to like change the pace of combat to where it feels new, even though it feels comfy and old.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude. Just amazing. I'm baffled at how well they did that.
Yeah. I think we praise the art as much as one could praise art of the first game, and like somehow the art in 2 is just better. It's insane. Like there's everyone looks awesome. Everyone animates beautifully, and it's wild how good that game looks. Zeke, I will say
real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Inea, quote, Hades 2 in early access already has more environments, foes, and fully voiced characters than the full version of the original Hades game, but it's not complete, and key areas, characters, foes, narrative events, and systems are still to come.
Damn.
I want him, give me.
Yeah, Zeke,
Sorry.
this won't help for you wanting to play it, but
Wait.
is what?
At the rate Zeke plays games, if he started right now,
Could be done.
no. By the time he's getting to like where the end is, it may be 1.0.
Could be the case. Could be the case. Zeke, speaking to your
That's fair. I hate it. I hate you.
Is it a proclivity? What is a proclivity? Something that you're wanting? Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I have a proclivity for something. That means I gravitate towards it.
Yeah, your proclivity for magic and magic-based items and weapons. Hades 2 is like that. So you're gonna be in love because it's like very much like magic-based, more so than Hades 1 ever was. Hades 1 was like, you know, here's a knife, here's a sword. The starting weapon in Hades 2 is a staff.
They let you know real early what they're going to do with you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Love it.
It's fucking awesome. And I think I haven't unlocked all the weapons, but so far the staff is my favorite. I don't know if you had a favorite color. I think you were liking the axe, but
the axe is in my. Oh, did we talk about this?
Is it spoiler? Are weapons spoilery?
Are Hades weapon stuff spoilery to you, Zeke? You do unlock.
I mean,
you do
I'll
unlock
forget.
them. Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep it a little low. I find the axe to be insanely overpowered. Like, especially. Oh god, yeah. Like easy mode. The daggers can be very strong. The staff is probably the best all-around weapon, and I had some issues with the controls initially on the 2 torches. I think they are. Things are.
Yeah.
Because it works so much better with mouse and keyboard than it does with the controller. You can't actually move and pick a direction to fire with the controller, which is really weird. But what I did find out is that if you treat it like a melee weapon, it's actually really cool. And the special ability, especially if you charge it, is also really interesting. So one thing about Hades 2 that I feel is they did a better job of in 1. The weapons, even without the B skill, because every weapon has the same B skill, kind of like in Hades with the red thing. all the weapons feel so different. There's much more of a variance in play style, I feel, in 2 than in 1.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I would agree with that.
But unfortunately, the flip side to that is I do feel there's going to be some weapons that people just aren't going to use because they don't like them.
Yeah, true.
Because they're like, even like that torch weapon, even when I got it going right, I was like, it's almost as good as the other weapons now. So, you know, like, and that kind of feeling,
Yeah, they're
Now, the thing is they do have a system similar to the first one where they incentivize using the different weapons. So there's a currency called bones, and every so often a weapon will get thirst, which gets you more bones. That's kind of okay, but I kind of wish that system leaned into the incentivization a little bit more.
yeah.
So like maybe you got like more bones and more experience and a 10% damage increase by using the weapons with thirst. I feel like they need to carrot on a stick the player a little bit more around the different weapons. But outside of that, like they're awesome. And I've liked every weapon. Like even the ones that are not powered are still fun to play.
Yeah, you can find the fun very quickly, which is good. So,
And if this
Hades 2,
is
early
any
access.
indication of like how much stuff is coming for Hades 2, Hades 1 on Steam, space required 13 gigs. Hades 2 space required right now 4 gigs. So like that's how much shit is coming, perhaps.
Well,
I don't know
want-
if that's a good indication or not.
that might be 4K
That could
assets
just
or
mean they're better
something.
at compressing
Or
stuff.
compressing,
I
yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah. Unfortunately,
No?
these days.
Okay.
So by that, I guess the most recent Call of Duty was the best effing game ever made.
True.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying quality. I'm saying quantity.
He's
like how
saying
much shit is
quantity.
not
No,
in there.
Well, no.
Yeah.
True. I'm just messing with you. But my point is that size can just sometimes mean that they're like not properly compressing a resource or not, or they change the way they manage something. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bigger or better.
Yeah.
So I need you to tell someone important to me that size doesn't really make a difference.
Listen.
It all
It doesn't.
comes back to
Listen.
dick
It
jokes.
doesn't matter. Okay.
I'll do it for you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Moving along with our indies. Zeke, you played a bunch of Animal Well. Did you finish Animal Well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really want to hear about this
No.
game because everyone I know that has played Animal Well the first thing, that game's really good. It's great. It's fantastic. Animal Well's awesome. The second thing is, and then my follow-up question, the first thing is like, oh, what do you do? And the second thing is, I'm not going to tell you because it's going to ruin the experience. I can't talk about the game. And so I don't know. I know what the game kind of is, but not really.
Right.
Are you able to talk about it at all? Like, can you?
Well, I didn't finish it. A lot of people like I played 3 hours of it because I played it at the end of a stream where I was playing. I had to leave early as well, but I was finishing up another game. Finished it, picked up Animal Well, played it for 3 hours, and then I had to go, and I haven't picked it up yet again. But I will say that Animal Well is apparently relatively short. Like a lot of people finish it between
10
4 and 6 hours.
Oh, it's even shorter. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard
4
varying,
to 6
varying,
hours.
So yeah,
Yeah, I've heard varying reports.
I've
Some
heard
people
it's
just
short, but the end game is
Yeah.
like 40 plus hours.
End
Sure.
game?
Yeah. That there's like
And that's-
post-story content, and it's like
Yeah.
a lot.
The things that Animal Well has going for it is it's very like for a 2D platformer, which it is like at heart, it's like a 2D platformer, Metroidvania-ish. The description that really sold me on it was it was like Metroid meets Outer Wilds, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I love both of those games, but especially Outer Wilds because of the story elements and stuff like that. The really cool thing about this game is it has some really like neat puzzle design. You'll see an element of the puzzle and you'll see another element, and once you see both of those things, you put them together, in your head. You're like, oh, that goes there, and then you do this. Okay, and it's got that really like joyful discovery of like, oh, I figured it out. I know what to do now, and it has like it rewards, not only ingenuity. Like if you're like, okay, I can do this with this item, and then I can do this with this item. And you're like, okay, so they're like in there are many ways or a few different ways to solve the same room, same puzzle. Because one item will get you high. Sorry, one item will elevate you, or one item will push you across the screen, right? So you can do it either way, and you'll still like solve the room basically, which I love that you can use different items to do the same puzzle.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I found out more than one thing, more than a couple things by accident, just by like fucking around with like the sub weapons and shit like that. I mean, sub weapons. There's no weapons really in the game, as far as the 3 hours that I played. There are like deterrence or traversal items, but you don't actually like shoot or hit or do that to anything, you know?
Yeah.
But like you'll be playing around with something, and I discovered one thing completely by accident. I was like, okay, I just got this item, and I was just like, you know, going from room to room, just, you know, using the item, and then something happened. I was like, oh shit. And it opened up like 4 different puzzles that I already passed. I'm like, I can do these puzzles now because I accidentally found how this fucking thing works, or another use for it. And that was like, that's what really like kept me going with the game. It was like, you don't realize like there's like how many uses you can do. It's like up to your, like, obviously, you know, it's a coded, so you can only do so much, but like it opens doors for you to do like, okay, this ledge is up there. I can do this item, then this item, and this item, and then keep doing that. And you get up there and you're like, you feel really good about like figuring that shit out. And I love that. The color scheme, I like it. I dig it. It's very pixelated, very, you know, retro feeling, but it's got good, like the color scheme is great. I really enjoyed the color scheme. And the there's not like, I didn't get to a part where there was like music the whole time, but it has ambience, like ambient sound the whole time, which really fits and really like, it reminds me like Metroid. It reminds me of like, you know, the first time you get to like Brinstar or something like that, and you hear that beep, boop, beep, like in the background. Like it's like that. It's really, really immersively good sound design. But is the biggest question that I got the whole time was, is it like Halo 2 met Halo 3?
Right.
And I will say that yes, it is exactly that.
Okay.
It is Halo 2 meets Halo 3. 100%.
Great.
And you
Glad
are
to hear it.
I actually ran a tally, and I had 8 different people come in and say that joke, and I'm like, you are number 8.
Was it
You're
funny
number
every
7.
time?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Totally
it's great.
funny every time.
Yeah. No, those are good.
No, I think that meme is based on a tweet from the developers or the publishers or something like that.
It's from Donkey in a recent video when someone asked him to describe the game. He said it's Halo 2 meets Halo 3 or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's what
And that's the story behind it, and the really like I don't know, encouraging aspect of this is like this really popular YouTuber was like, let's do some video games, and this is what came out of it, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's a really cool story.
That's the best part of this. I absolutely love it.
It's funny. I remember when he got all this shit because people were like, well, how are you going to be like a good video game publisher? How are you going to like find the games? And his response was, I'm only going to like publish good games. And everyone was like, well, that's a stupid fucking comment. And it was like this big deal, and everyone had to take on the internet. And then this game comes out.
And it's like, oh, that's what he meant.
That's what he meant. It's a good game. He chose a good game. I thought that was really funny. Because that's all he's got to say now for that entire thing.
Forever.
Yeah.
And more importantly, now the next time that Donkey releases a game, everyone's going to be paying attention.
Totally, yeah. For a different reason,
Kind
but a
of
good
amazing.
reason. Yeah.
A great reason.
Everyone was paying
It's like,
attention
oh,
this time.
he nailed it last time.
Yeah, they were wanting him
so
to
let's see what
fail
he's
in
got
a
this
lot of
time.
ways, for sure.
Yeah. And Steam reviews, take them for what they are, you know, take them with a grain of salt, but 3,100 Steam reviews, 96% positive. So like it's selling well, doing well, and reviewing well.
I think it's probably important for us to also say that a lot of those reviews, at least I think initially, I don't know how many there are, but
They were
lot of
paid
that,
to not say anything bad.
they were paid, they got a contract, and they said that they couldn't comment anything. No, They're just fans of Donkey that are gonna like go and upvote it, right? Which
You're an actual monster.
Yeah.
which it's gonna happen whenever a creator that has a massive fan base the size that he does, I would say the size that even we do, people are just gonna support our products or anything that we put our name next to because our names are next to it. That's how it
And as
is.
somebody in chat said, and this is totally valid. When Donkey first announced this, the overall the overall message was, you are a YouTuber. What makes you qualified to do this?
Sure.
And that's oh, I mean, that's an okay thing to say, right? I mean, you're playing with the futures of people's lives in a lot of ways. So I think that was justified, but I think at this point everyone can be like, oh, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to get the game out and promote it, and that's exactly what he did. And now this game is a wild success, and we may have never heard of it if it wasn't for him.
Yep. Yep.
So, okay, that works. Also, apparently, he helped playtest a lot of the game. He like directly helped with feedback and things of that nature. So, you know, I mean, it was not like he just picked it up and it was successful. You know, so
Yeah. Azilm, I don't know how to say your name. Let's just go with Azul in my chat. Great point. Everyone mentions
did you just
Donkey.
call him an asshole?
He's an asshole. Everyone mentions Donkey, but no one mentions the fact that it was a solo dev who worked on this game for 7 years. It's a great point.
Oh, also keep in mind, because I've seen a lot of people say this, Donkey didn't make this game.
He didn't make this game. Yeah, he published it.
Everyone's been like, yeah, the game Donkey made. No. He's a publisher, which means he picked the game and then he helped it. Yeah, so which is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
In fact, that thing I read about him playtesting it was a commentary on what did he actually do on the game. And it was, you know, he gave feedback, he played, he helped, like he was a part of its development, but he was not the developer.
Yeah. So a cool thing all around. I saw for a little while, this was sitting at the top of Steam. I think in like, I don't know if that was just new and noteworthy or if that was like actual sales, but if it was actual sales, that's fucking awesome. If that's the case, let's see where it's at now.
The game price it's very well priced, right?
Yeah, Zeke, do you know the price?
No.
Oh, Animal Wells, $22.49 right now.
$22.49. It's not for an indie release. It's not cheap. Like anything under $20 is usually like the standard for indie games. It's $20 or less. If it's over 20, there's something you're paying for.
Yeah. Currently sitting.
And in this case, you're paying for like it's a quality experience with great, you know, great design, great sound design, all that shit. So you see where the extra money is going towards, especially seeing is how it's a relatively short experience if you don't do like all the extra shit.
Sure. Sitting at number 7 right now on the global top sellers list. Sailors list.
Sailors.
Yeah, Hades 2 is number 1.
One of them top sailors?
It's right above Hades 1, funny enough. Hades 1 is discounted at $8.50.
Oh.
So that's why people
I
are
can see a lot
buying
of people wanting to replay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of
or
sense.
play for the first time.
And it is a Metroidvania, which I don't usually gravitate towards unless it's got something special to it, and I think this does. I really do.
Yeah.
A lot of Metroidvanias are the same, like, you know, go over the map over and over again, shoot,
Yeah.
you know, get a new weapon,
Dude.
blah, blah, blah. This one is more like I passed by something that not like you know, like a brick wall that you have to get the brick gun to like get past or whatever. This one's more like I passed by something that is enigmatic. Like it feels like I might be able to do it now, but maybe I do have to wait until I get something. You know, it kind of gives you that question, which I dig.
Yeah. The a bunch of the reviews that I watched for this basically said that every screen has at least one secret in it that you don't actually you don't know exist until you do. Apparently,
There are
which is crazy.
a fucking buttload
Awesome.
of secrets. There are
Yeah.
so many like little things that you're like, okay, I'm stuck now. So you go through every single room and you see just this little tiny shadow. And you're like, I bet. And then you jump into it and it reveals, you're like, oh, that's it, motherfucker, I got you.
Yeah. And then the other thing, kind of what you were just saying, Zeke, where you're not sure if you have what you need to be able to solve a thing. Apparently, you don't need very many things to solve anything in this game. You can pretty much do every puzzle very early on. You just have to know what the fuck to do, which is
You
great.
see that that thing I just solved, I got this treasure chest or whatever.
Yeah.
I did it like the hard way. Like there's a way there's like a super way easier way to do it, but I ended up doing the hard way because I didn't know. Like there was, it's set up to be easier.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
awesome.
can do it the hard way.
That's great. I love games like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Anyways, that's Animal Well. Published by Big Mode. Is that the name of his company?
Big Mode.
Big
Big
Mode.
Mode,
Yeah.
developed by Billy Basso.
Billy Basso, solo dev. 7
Bill
years ago.
Barsky. Oh, okay.
He's one of those Southern gentlemen I was talking about.
The Bill Barsky. I once saw him punch out a Yeti.
Come on down to Billy Basso's Wonder Emporium. That's where I go.
I once saw Bill hold down a moose and tie his antlers together. The Bill.
Oh God. V Rising, another indie game. V Rising's in. That's one of those ones where I'm
Total
like,
indie.
it's indie.
100% indie.
Yeah, it's
no,
indie.
don't
Okay.
you dare. It's 100%
Okay.
indie.
Total indie.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare take that from them.
Don't you fucking dare take that from me. I will put up footage of it. Co, you are how many hours
Playing
in
it right
to your
now.
run?
What?
Yeah. How many hours
Yes.
are you in it?
I am currently, oh God, total.
Well, I know total. You had like 100 in
I've
the
had, this is like
original.
my third playthrough. Yeah, so 170 hours total.
So you put 70
I am-
hours into this run then? Is that
Yeah, about.
safe to say?
And I'm about half done.
Wow. They put in that much content?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And I haven't even gotten to the hard bosses. Apparently, I'm going to spend hours wiping as a solo brutal player on the last bosses.
So where do you remember where the final boss that I remember killing in when the game first launched early access was like it was like the griffin boss or whatever that was like at the top of a mountain, like a manticore or something like that?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that like
Yep.
middle of the game now? Like where does that sit?
I don't know, a manticore boss.
It was like
Problem is I haven't. What was the last zone you were in?
I never
Did you
saw
do
the desert
did
zone
you do
that
the
you were in.
nuclear zone?
No, that didn't exist.
That's
When I
like
played
that's 3 zones ago.
Damn. Okay.
So not only that, they have an actual like mid/end game now. So there's this entire zone on the right side of the map. And once you build this new specific item, every 30 minutes, these rifts appear over there. And you can go to the new zone and do rift events, which are like you farm for loot and special items. It's a whole RNG crafting thing now. And you can then bring the items back to that, get new passive abilities, upgrade passive abilities. You can create a rift thing, which then summons like any type of loot you want from around the world. So you can like go to this rift thing, do like a few rifts, fight a sub boss, bring that back to base, and then choose like, do I want to get a bunch of rare gems or like a bunch of recipes or like weapon components and then you can summon like boss fights and do them in your base.
Fuck.
Awesome, man. Dude, it's so good. There's now
That's
a
so
whip.
much content.
There's a whip weapon. There's dual pistols. There's freaking slashers. There's like there's a new longbow, which is awesome.
The bow didn't exist when
They've
I played. I don't think.
completely did you play when you played, was the magic system skill point based?
I mean, it was right when the game launched, so yeah, probably.
Oh, no, it wasn't. In that case, they've completely reinvented the magic system.
That's the new system. Yeah, I played
That's the
like
new system.
whenever the first thing came out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So now it's like the skill point system that's been totally redone. So it's just this game has undergone not only a huge development cycle, but it's undergone a huge well done early access cycle, which means not only was it developed, but it was constantly being changed, added, updated based on feedback from the community. So now that we're at the end of its development, 1.0 is freaking awesome. It's awesome. Like it's actually great. And I haven't been this addicted to a game in a long time.
Damn. Yeah, I was a little gun shy on starting a new playthrough, but you might have just sold me because it was the game's a little grindy. And so I was,
so I'm playing solo.
Yeah.
And I'm playing solo brutal.
Okay.
And now you may have been able to do this before, but for the first time, I went into my server settings. When I hit a tree, I get 3 times the resources. All of my times to refine materials are 3 times faster. All of my anything that's not related to the difficulty or the actual gameplay, like I upped.
Did that
and it's awesome.
help a lot? You think?
Oh,
in
it's
the grind?
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Fuck, I might
fantastic.
do that. Okay.
Every minute I spend in this game is like fun, actiony progression stuff.
Yeah.
I think I've spent maybe an hour farming total. And the only times I've ever done it is when it's like, cool, you got access to a quartz place. Let's go farm a bunch of quartz. Cool, you got sulfur. Let's go farm a bunch of sulfur. Like, you do one big farm of that with my server settings and you're fine for like 20 hours.
Damn. Okay. That's even
Wonderful.
got me more interested in
I haven't
playing.
had to do any major farming and I have like a max size castle.
Wow. Okay. Cool. They introduced multiple floors, right? Like you can.
Can you adjust that mid game? You absolutely can adjust that mid game. You can change the difficulty at a boss. Like if you're having a hard time on a boss, you can just drop the difficulty of the server, like easy, and beat it, and then jack it back up if you want to.
Yeah.
The customization they have over the server is remarkable. It's really, really good. Also, arguably, the best base move mechanic I've ever seen in a game.
My chat was telling me about how does that work? Do you just move
So
your base?
you go to the plot. You have your castle at plot A. You find plot B. You put down this spectral heart. And then it asks you, are you sure you want to move your base? And you say yes. And then it literally just packs up everything in your old base and drops them into like an inventory that you can then place in the new base. Everything. The chests you put back down with the items in them that they had in your old base.
Does it rebuild the base for
refining
you?
stuff is still refining when you put it down. No, it doesn't rebuild the base because every base area is different. It gives you all the pieces.
I got
and then you put all the pieces back down.
Okay, that's great.
It's great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember
awesome.
I did that when the game first launched, and it was all right. I'm going back for run number 7 from my first base to bring it to the new base, and it's fuck, I died. Now I dropped all my resources. That type of shit.
JP, if you're playing solo, there's a toggle now that just turns on so you can use teleporters with items. Like all that kind of stuff is all optional.
Oh, that's right.
So,
I forgot you couldn't teleport with that. Did you turn
can do
that on?
now. I did not.
Okay. That just means that you can't bring like
Yeah.
resources. You have to haul them back to your base.
It's Valheim.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I mean, I'm playing with my son, for instance. We have a server, and he like hated that. So I just literally like opened up the options and turned it on while we were playing, and it was fine.
Damn.
So,
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
No. For the record, that option's not new. Yeah, that's been in. That's like Valheim stuff. Yeah.
Something technical I wanted to ask you guys because I've run up against this problem since I've started getting into the building games and survival games, stuff like that. Like, how do you parse where to get a server? Like, there's many server
item?
providers.
Oh,
No,
servers.
server.
So
Like, yeah.
if you're playing solo, then you don't need to get a server. You're good.
Okay.
Not only that, if you're playing like where you want to play on a streaming server, where it's like it's only going to be up when you're playing, you can host your server and then you can invite other people. And
Sure.
you don't need a
Yeah,
remote
no,
server
I'm
or
saying
anything
like an
that.
always
Now,
running
if you
server.
want an always running server, at that case, I mean, like there's companies we could recommend, but I mean they come and go super fast, and like it's just
That's
just
what I'm
like,
asking.
looking
I
for-
wasn't
there's
sure
no-
if there's
no
like a go-to.
There is a go-to, Zeke, and I'll tell you who it is right now.
Okay.
And Co doesn't want me to say this, and neither does the person in question.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Barry
don't say
Carlisle
it. God
server
damn it.
hosting company is real
Nope.
good. They're great. They've got a lot of free
Wait,
time.
Barry has a server hosting company?
No, he does not. No.
Okay.
And he he
was like,
hates
shit.
servers. Yeah, no, that's not. No.
No.
Let me put it this way. Barry is a full-time hire, and I have a server guy. Let me just put it that way. Yeah.
No. Just to tell you where I'm at here. Like, I have 190 hours in V-Rising when it was like in 2022. So I played a lot of it, and I've seen most of the content. Right.
Yeah.
However, stupid me forgot to turn off his fucking server. So I find out like 2 years later, I'm still paying monthly.
Oh no! For
Yeah,
what were you paying
that
for?
was a shit stupid thing.
Damn, that's like finding out you're still paying for WoW or something like
Dude,
years after.
I'm
Yeah.
still signed up to Mandalorian
Yeah.
Plus.
No, I got
What
a
the fuck
little.
is?
'cause
Oh,
I
Disney
switched
Plus.
cards.
Disney Plus. I got you. That took
It's
me
the
a
only
second.
thing I ever
like,
watched on it.
the fuck is an
So I switched cards and I got a little notification going like, "Hey, your V Rising server." I'm like, "My what now? My who?" are you fucking kidding me? And then I looked at all the emails that I just like marked as red because I'm like, I don't care about V Rising News. No, it wasn't V Rising News. It was definitely telling me like your payment just went through. And I'm like, God damn it! It's nobody's fault but my own.
How much
That
were
was
you
just
paying a
I
month?
love this so much.
stupid for me.
What was it? What was the monthly charge?
I think it was like $20 a month or something like that.
Okay, not too bad. Not too
Not
bad.
terrible, but it was
Dude,
it was
that's-
definitely like over 2 years or like almost 2 years of me paying $20 a month.
Dude, I had that. So I've been playing Final Fantasy since, I don't know, however long it's been out, right? And I've been paying for Final Fantasy the same exact time. But I don't know if I like didn't want to know or I didn't, for some reason, I didn't process what I was doing is kind of the crux of it. So whenever you get a new retainer in that game, after the initial 2 retainers, it's an additional amount of money per month that you pay for your sub. I think it's like $2 or $3, right? Per
no.
retainer. And so I've been at 10 retainers in that game for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. And I use them actively when I play, but I never look at the charge coming from Final Fantasy every single month.
No,
So I
dude,
saw
the thing
that
is,
the other day when I was doing my finances, and I
only-
was just like,
If only that company was super ethical and sent you notifications every
No, they
month
do.
before they charged you.
well, I'm on the quarterly thing, so it's like they charge you for
okay.
3. Is it 3 months or maybe a year? Or
Something like that.
It's a lot, but yeah. I looked at that the other day because I was just looking to see after moving and looking at all the finances and how much I'm spending a month, and I'm just like,
oh, those
fuck.
yearly ones.
Oh,
Oh, those
fuck.
yearly ones. Like, thankfully, I haven't had any, but like, I get a little bit of like a little like every time I see like your yearly payment has gone through. I'm like, oh my god, is it something I'm still using? Oh, please tell me it's something I'm still using. But that V Rising one, that one just, it was, yeah, like someone did the quick math and it was like $480 for 2 years. And it was just like, that's just gone. I didn't
Yeah.
use it. I didn't take advantage of it. I played V Rising for 2 months, like pretty exclusively. That was my offline game. I just played it. And then for the rest of the 22 months, not a single second played. And I paid for the server. So the whatever the server does well, it's not like actively being used. It was still going. I don't know like what happened.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's like you come
Meanwhile-
back and you're like your little servant is like, I saved 1,200 corn for you.
Dude, it's like when you change your Netflix password and your neighbor starts hitting the wall, right? Like you're gonna shut down that server and you're gonna get the nastiest message from some guys like, I was playing on that server for 2 years. I had a giant castle. It was amazing. What is wrong with you?
Dude, this is gonna come across as like a bad thing, but me and Aaron were laughing about this. That happened the other day when she canceled her Netflix, or Disney. Like basically, I was using like Disney, Netflix, Hulu, all this stuff, and I just got an email. I got like 6 emails where it's like, your account for blah 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 has been canceled because she took over ownership and wanted to use them in her own house. So I had to pay for all that shit. I got one for Clear, which is like the flying when you fly.
Yep.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You've been removed from the Clear family plan. And so I just messaged her and I was like, you son of a bitch. And she was like, it's expensive. It was going to charge me $100 a month. So, yeah, I know exactly how that goes. I know exactly how that goes.
And the thing is, I don't mind saying it because I'm sure like most people who put like recurring payments on a credit card, like most people have done at least a little bit of that, like, and just forgotten, been like,
Totally, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, completely.
That's how
I don't
those
even
companies
want
make
banking
to
on.
money.
talk
I know, it's
anymore.
what they're hoping.
Yeah. It's how.
Why do you think I was petitioning Twitch for years to stop sending those notifications out for resub payments?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I'm sure between all of our communities, the amount of people that paid Blizzard for World of Warcraft subscriptions when they hadn't played in like X amount of months is astronomical, right? Like,
Oh God, yeah.
it happens
Yeah,
so
dude,
much.
And the worst part is the laziness factor. I still get emails every so often from like places where it's like, oh, you know, you're still. I have been okay. I kid you not. Do you remember G2A?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, G2A, big key reseller. Everyone was working with them like 10 years ago.
Yep.
I stopped. Me and a bunch of people. I think all three of you. We all stopped using it at the same time.
Three?
Do you still
Who's
get the
third
emails?
One of us.
Hold on. You still get the emails?
I think I unsubscribed from that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Funny story. When you have a GTA account, the sponsorship, whatever,
G2A.
if you don't use it, they charge $1 to the account. And I have been getting emails for 8 years every month from G2A telling me, you didn't use your account this month. We're charging you another $1 to the account
To keep
that I
it
can't
open?
access.
Is that like a bank thing where you have to have like $5?
You haven't
in it or
used your
something?
account, so we're charging you $1.
Wow, that's crazy.
And like the one time I tried to like go there and be like, what the hell is this? Like it wouldn't even let me log in, and I did the like respond to like send me an email password reset. It didn't work. So I was just like, okay, whatever. But I've been getting those emails for 8 years.
Holy
won't
shit.
Stop.
Damn. Yeah,
Oh my
it
lord.
happens.
Yeah, it's just the laziness factor, man. Sometimes you just get those emails where it's like, hey, you paid $2.99 to this thing, and you look at it and you're like, is this worth stopping what I'm doing to go fix this right now?
Well,
Yeah.
Is it worth $3
my
to go
question
fix
to
this?
you, Co, is how many warranties have you bought for your car?
Listen, car, you have to be safe. A warranty for every part is not out of line. It's just smart.
That's true. That's true. It's very true. Yeah. Yeah, my version of responding immediately is when I get an email from Final Fantasy saying, your house is going to be demolished unless you log in within the next 60 days. But those
That's a
monthly
giant
charges.
banana in my chat.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, anyway.
tasty.
Somebody posted some fruit in my chat.
You got to eat it.
Oh, that was nice. Not that fruit, no. There it is.
I see.
And we made it.
Yeah. So V Rising's good is the short
Rising's
of it. To circle
Awesome.
back.
Not
Okay.
good. Awesome.
I might be
I've
jumping
actually-
in there.
That's awesome.
I've actually been looking for another off stream game, and I mean I've already had multiple hours into it, but now that's 1.0. I kind of want to get back into it because
Do
man, it was really fun while I
Also-
was playing it. Yeah.
Completely unnecessary information for our audience, but a phenomenal time to stream it right now. There is V Rising has an incredibly active community.
Yeah.
I have had many people stop by where they were just like, I have no idea who you are, but I love this game. Like I've seen that more often with this game than many others.
Nice.
So I don't know if like the V Rising devs are encouraging their community in some form to watch streamers, but I can tell you that they seem to have a very awesome community on Twitch
Cool.
in that
Yeah.
directory.
So to answer someone's question, they said what platform is it on? Obviously, it's on PC, but I guess it's on PlayStation 5 as well.
Is it?
That's what it says. I just googled.
I
it.
didn't get sponsored to stream it, so I didn't get the notes. I don't.
I don't have those guidelines. Yeah.
They knew I was gonna play it,
it's
so they were like,
coming
"We're just gonna
to-
talk to everyone else."
Okay, PC only now,
I
coming to
hate when that
PS5 later.
happens.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just googled it. That's all I did. So.
You know, I mean, I hate when it happens, but at the same time, I mean, it's an indies, man. I mean, they gotta.
It's fun. It's funny because it
makes
goes
sense.
the other way. Where if I know I'm gonna play a game and someone reaches out to sponsor, I'm just like, well, why would I say no? I'm gonna play this anyways. So like,
You know, yeah, no, that's exactly the way. That dude. I mean, I think you guys similar. I only take sponsors of games that I want to play or I'm gonna play.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
of course. I mean, that's like the best sponsor in the world is when it's something that you're already playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a situation like that, it's you know, it's better for the game if they don't sponsor me.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna
Yeah, you
get
can't-
mad at them for that?
Can't
you
get
know?
mad whatsoever. Yeah, I might have to figure a run out. We're kind of in the
should.
next 2 weeks or so is a little bit slower. Then, at least for me, June is crazy. June goes from Destiny into Key 3 into Elden Ring into Final Fantasy. So like, I have 4 weeks of just solid 0 showering, just like really bad hygiene playing of video games. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey.
It's gonna be a good time. Just never leaving the room or the desk or the house. It's gonna be great.
Cool.
Did you guys play anything else over the past 2 weeks we should discuss?
I played quite a bit of Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
I saw you tweeting about that. Did you just like did the bug catch you or like what happened?
Well, I played HOMM 2 for CD-ROMathon, and everybody while I was playing it, they were like, "Dude, HOMM 2 might be good, but HOMM 3 is where they perfected it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll play it at some point." And someone even said, I think I bought it out of spite because someone came into my chat while I was playing HOMM 2. It's like, just came in and just said, "Why are you playing this? Play HOMM 3, you idiot," or something like that. I'm like, I'm going to buy it and then I'm not going to play it. Watch me. And I went on GOG, I bought it and I put it on my desktop and I said, it's going to sit there just because you said that. And I'm not going to install it and I'm not going to play it. Turns out I was going to play it, but it just took a month or a couple months.
Man, that you confuse the hell out of that
You
guy.
really got
He
them
has
good.
no idea what's going on at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, I
You
know.
got 'em.
I know. I do that sometimes out of spite. But it
I
ends
get
up
it.
being, it's a really good game. So I played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and for 4 days, and I got through the first 3 scenario campaign of the first army, of which I looked up how long to beat Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and it's like casual gameplay, 120 hours or something like that. And I was like,
Holy
oh
shit.
shit. So I'm not
Yep.
gonna play all the way through this at all. And it's a great game, great strategy. I love so many aspects of it, but there's sometimes when I get like my focus gets too spread out and I feel overwhelmed by like choice. You know, I have the too many choices of what I can do, and I want to do the right thing. Whereas like games like turn-based games like XCOM, you have like I don't know how big your squad of soldiers is or whatever, but they have certain specialties. They can do like 3 main things that they do. Whereas every hero in this game can do anything. Like, you can go explore, you can go like you fight stuff, you transport stuff, you do all this shit, and there's just too many things to do. And my brain goes, I just sit there looking at the screen, not doing anything, going like, I don't know what the right move is. I don't know what the best move is. And the thing is, you just gotta figure it out. You gotta like make mistakes, figure it out for yourself, figure out how you excel as a player of the game or what you feel comfortable with and shit like that. So playing it was a lot of fun, and I made some mistakes, and I even got like emails from someone going like, yeah, I actually invited my mother in to watch because she played Heroes of Might and Magic, and she had the best time just screaming at the screen telling you you're doing it wrong. I'm like, well, I'm glad
Welcome
I could
to
get
Twitch,
that
Mom.
to you.
Yeah, she's a lifelong sub at this point.
Dude, this was one of the top tippy top games, and I've played a lot, but this is in the top 3 of fucking experts coming into my channel.
Oh yeah,
telling
sure.
me exactly what I'm doing wrong, how I'm fucking it up, or the nicer ones telling me like, you could do this, but it's probably beneficial to do this. There was a lot of those too, but there was quite a few guys going like, what the fuck is he doing with griffins or whatever it happened to be at the moment. It's like, and that's like, we had this conversation, like that's what makes it a great game, is that
Sure.
people who have hundreds, thousands of hours will have differing opinions on just even how to start the campaign.
Yep.
Like, do you go for like building up your gold? Because some people are like, oh, I always build up gold first. And then like 10 other people are like, no. I always build up a creature in inhabitants or like the places that generate soldiers. Like I always build that one up first and then worry about gold later. Like, oh, I always explore first, grab everything and then come back. And then I start thinking about blah, 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 blah. Like seriously, tons of conversations about that. And it's just great because all of them are right and none of them are exactly right. That's
Nice.
the good part about it. It's like you can do any of those and be successful. And the first 3 missions took me 4 fucking streams to complete. Like the basic ass missions.
Damn.
Because, well, not only that, but I started over the 3rd campaign or 3rd scenario. I started that one over from the beginning because the way it was going did not seem like tenable or winnable. Like the opposing army had built up too much, and it was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat them in the time they come over and beat me. So I started that one over, and I ended up like, there's one like little tiny tipping point. And if you ever played Heroes of Might and Magic 3, you know the tipping point. Archangels. Once you start producing Archangels, it's fucking game over for that scenario. And you just steamroll the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went for Archangels and I just started just mowing down everybody and finally got like, you know, the mission completed. But it took me many, many hours, like 4 streams worth. So like 30 plus hours to just do those 3 missions.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games that you go to bed fucking thinking about. Like I was
I
like,
love it.
Stream's over. Walk into
Those are the
get dinner.
best, man.
Those are the actual best. Yep.
Hey, babe, what do you want for dinner? Do you want pikemen or halberdiers? I'm gonna take off. Can you watch the pubs? Because I'm just gonna go get some mines. I'm gonna go claim some mines out. But if some soldiers get produced here, can you bring them out to me, please, so I can take care of these fucking beholders that are out on the field? If you would be so kind as to bring them to me, I would be great. And that's what like my brain was doing the whole time, like just considering like, well, where I fucked up, how I could do better, like that kind of shit. And
Yeah,
like
those are good.
for 4 days. That was my like taking up my entire brain space was Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and that's just like, holy shit, what a great game. And then I made the mistake. I got to tell you, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I made the mistake of after one stream, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start this scenario over and I'm going to win. So I was like, okay, Google machine, basic Heroes of Might and Magic 3 strategies.
Uh-oh.
Fuck that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that, because it's like, what basic strategy are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because there's 30 basic strategies that would benefit you to learn.
Yeah.
Are you talking about combat? Are you talking about hero purchasing? Are you talking about upgrading? Are you talking about playing to the strengths of the map? Are you talking, oh my God, it is a fucking hole. And people it's like walking into like a top level business meeting and they're just throwing around jargon and you're like Adam Sandler, like, slow down. I don't understand what you're saying. I have no idea what's going on here. Like, I felt like I walked into an advanced class and I was like in remedial reading.
Yeah.
But I did learn some things. I learned some, like, in that, I watched a couple of snippets of videos and stuff. In that, they did have some good, like, always tips, meaning this is what you can always do to benefit your thing. Like, if you are a ranged combat kind of army, always take your ranged and guard them with your peons, like, and split them up into 1 stacks to like take up the cannon fodder, you know, that kind of shit. So like, I took some of the stuff, but other stuff was just like, it's Charlie in the fucking red string board. You're like, you gotta do all this shit here. It's crazy how deep it is.
Sean, Day 9, is a huge, he's a huge RTS guy, obviously, but he played a lot of HOMM when he was a kid. And the exact conversation you just said that were in those videos, like, if someone mentioned HOMM around Sean, he would just he would just vomit, like word vomit about the game. Oh, yeah. All the different strategies. He was the same way.
In your chat co, Sewell, Zeke needs to play, and that's all I read, because that comment over and over and over and over again. If you like HOMM 3, you should play blank, 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 blank. Like 50 different fucking titles were suggested to me if I liked this one. It's
like the genesis for probably so many viewers in terms of just PC gaming. Like, this is from 1999, I think. So it was like HOMM 3 and StarCraft, I think, kind of split the PC dynamic for a lot of folks.
No, and see, well, you don't need to apologize. I was just pointing out, like, that happened a lot. Like, this game was the spawn, was the progenitor of so many other games.
Yep.
And what I think I like about this one, that I've looked at other titles that are inspired by this, even with all the shit I just said, this one is far less complex than any other game that people have suggested to me. This is about as much my brain can hold. Anything more than this, it's gonna be too much for Zeke. Like there's a new game coming out or like on the 21st or something.
Yeah.
Like a new like HOMM like game. And I looked at it and I was like, I get the inspiration, but holy shit, this is far more complex than HOMM 3. And I don't, it's,
Oh, that's Songs of Conquest is what you're
yeah,
talking
Songs
about.
of Conquest. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I looked at it
Songs
and
of
it
Conquest
looked
is
daunting.
Yeah, it's
No,
very,
it's great. It's actually much simpler.
Is it? Okay.
It's much more
'Cause
simpler, and
the
it's
video
much,
I saw was
much
not that
more
simple.
intuitive. I mean,
Okay.
if you're doing HOMM 3, like you should try Songs of. If you like HOMM 3, you should try Songs of Conquest.
Oh, I have it on my wish list, so yeah,
Cool.
it's there.
It's much. Everything is much more, like streamlined. Like it's a lot more focused on kind of like the strategy element, and not so much on the just learning it to learn it element.
Okay.
Very fun.
Maybe I was just looking at their trailer had like advanced
Oh god, I just did the
story
thing.
tactics and shit like that, because like I prefer like games that's like, here's 10 soldiers,
I did.
win this
Shoot.
battle, good job you. Now here's 10 different soldiers, win the next battle, oh good job you. And like that, that's how I like my progression.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I did do the thing for the record, but in a different way. But I did do the thing. I'm sorry. If
yeah,
you
but
like
it's,
combat,
it's, look,
it's a little different.
there's a difference, chat. Unfortunately, there's a difference when a friend, you know what? I don't want to, I've already said a lot of truths that chat is not ready for today. They're not ready to hear this, so we're going to move
No,
forward.
it's different. It's different because I brought it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't just out of the blue suggesting something. It was I brought up the game and Ko said, well, let me expound on what you brought up.
There you
That's
go.
fine.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Fair.
And again, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Don't apologize, dude. It's fine.
Oh God. I was looking to see what was the last stuff I had played, because then I realized I hadn't streamed for like a solid week because of the move. But Stellar Blade like came out. People got really pissed off about a lot of ass, and then I didn't hear anything about that game. Did you finish that game, Ko? Like I know you were playing it, but I didn't finish it.
I've put like 20 hours into it. Game is awesome.
Yeah, you didn't go back and finish it?
Not yet, just because all this other stuff has been happening, like like V Rising and everything. But no, I mean, I've had a great time in Stellar Blade. It's very clear that there's a really solid, awesome action game in there. I like the game. I mean, there's a lot of comparisons that have been made between Stellar Blade and Nier.
Yeah,
for some very good reasons. I like the gameplay of Stellar Blade better.
Really? Well, yeah. They're pretty different, but I would probably agree with you on that. Like,
I actually strongly also I'm personally a huge fan of the ass. I think it's great and adds to it. Although I will say, as I say in the thoughts feeder I have for the game, it's important to mention that I would love this game if I was a fat old guy with a peg leg and one eye for a main character. Like the game is actually really good. Like I think a lot of people are making this assumption that because it's a sexy game, like maybe it doesn't have like as good of other stuff. But I mean, sure, it's a phenomenal ass, and that's not the only phenomenal looking thing in the game, but it's very much an awesome game then with good ass. It is not an awesome game because of that at all. And it's been crazy because I've been playing the game a lot, and so many times where people come by and they would be like, oh, this is much deeper than I thought it was, or oh, this isn't what I thought it was, and stuff like that. And we just saw that over and over and over. And sure enough, it's just a really good game. Like, it's got great upgrade system, combat's solid, the world is super cool, the story's pretty interesting, it's fully voice acted, there's an entire fishing system. I mean, it's there's a lot in it to like.
Yeah, cool. It's one of those games I might play off stream. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it on stream, but we will see.
Speaking of playing games off stream, I did a little sponsor stream, a couple hours for Dead Island 2 that I hadn't picked up. And I actually played it off stream, and it's a well put together, fun game. It's a little repetitive, but honestly, like, it's fun. And I was happy that I went back to it and and tried it in my own time because it's, you know, it's got great environment, great programming, you know, good songs, and the main character that I picked, Danny, the Irish one, the Irish chick,
same one I did.
She's great. Like her throughout the entire game, she is like
lot of
the
effects.
kind of hero that you can get behind. You're like, yeah, she's a badass chick with tattoos. Fuck yeah. So I mean, I have a type, obviously, but like it's a fun game, and I actually played through one of the DLCs. I'm the last thing I have to do is play through the Sola DLC, but I played through the House HAUS DLC, and it was really good. It was weird. It was I didn't know that I had jumped into the DLC until like I was like, what the fuck? This is a complete departure from the main game. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm in the DLC right now. Okay. And it's fun. Like it's creepy, it's weird, it's culty, and it's really good. And the only notes I would have to say, I played through the house, the end of that was DLC.
Weird one.
And the only thing I would have to say like about it is I wish there were more of those fun, like visceral kills, I guess, like the animated kills that you get. Like you can do those. I just wish there was more of them. That's all I wanted. Like the killing of the zombies becomes a little bit repetitive because there's so many of them and you can kill them all the time. But like having weapons that like, you know, do like cool, like stab them in the gut, cut them in half, or, you know, that kind of shit. I just wish there was more of that. But I ended up being, my favorite weapon ended up being fucking brass knuckles, because there are stats you can do to like stack how fast you attack. So like I got all these stats on the knuckles and stats on my like cards that you put on your skills. And you start with like pop, pop, pop. And then you're eventually just going like a speed bag and just like crit, like flying out. It was super fun.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw was that the sponsor for the DLC? Because I saw a bunch of sponsorships for that.
It was raising awareness for the DLC, but I never got to it.
Sola.
Yeah, the Sola DLC. Okay.
So LA. Yeah.
Sola,
I did the same thing.
Not Solo. Sorry.
So it's LA. South LA. Yeah.
Oh.
Like SoCal, Soleil.
Okay. Sorry. I get it. I understand it. A little slow on the uptake today.
I was like
Well, it was like 2 in 1. There's LA, there's South LA. There's a bunch of stuff to take from it. It's a busy.
And I can't believe we haven't talked about it yet, because I'm sure you guys have checked it out. But huge like hype around this game was just crazy. Did you play Little Kitty Big City yet?
Not yet.
I actually did hear about this game. I heard about that. It's kind of a similar game, somewhat, Zeke, but is it another Crab's Treasure? Is that the
the crab-like, crab souls-like?
That apparently is also like very good. I heard a lot of people playing that. I
played the demo of another Crab's Treasure, and it didn't
grab you.
Didn't grab me, personally. But it's not a bad game. It's just it wasn't my particular taste. Like if I for a Souls-like, I want it to be like dark, and this one's like bright and colorful.
Yeah, cool. Well, we can stop it there.
Little Kitty Big City was great if you like cats. It's very.
What do you do? What do you do in the game? Do you just walk around?
Yeah, it's an
You walk around as a
exploration
cat?
game.
Okay.
It's a third pussy, third person, because it's a cat. Third person camera where you wander around and you like solve puzzles on how to get like the gist of the first mission is to get back home, and your home is an apartment like way up on the high rise, and you have to figure out how to climb all the way up there. But the writing in the game actually surprised me how good it was. Like how it has an element of cutesy wootsy, but it doesn't overdo it, which will always piss me off if they overdo the cutesy wootsy.
Okay.
It's more real, like more realistic in the cat movements, and the cat, like when you like press the right and left triggers, you like bat at stuff. But if you press them fast, it's like, you ever seen a cat like bat really fast at something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. They did a very good job with that. and you talk to a raccoon who insists that he's not a raccoon, that he's a tanuki, because this game, I believe, takes place in Japan. It looks like Japan. Sorry about that. Got a racer driving by the window. But the cat movements, it's surprisingly, it's more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, oh, kitties, yay, they're going to be like purring and doing like cat puns. While there is some of that, there's not too much, which is, you know, a weird line to draw, but I think they did it. I think they got the feeling of it without overdoing. So
Nice.
Impressive.
and especially if you like cats, like one of the like,
game.
yeah, one of the big things in the game is the collectible hats. And you will get, like, if you fast forward the video a little bit, I found like 4 of them.
Oh,
There you go. I found the corn hat.
corn hat.
Yeah.
Corn hat on the
So
cat.
you'll get all kinds of, like, one of the collectible items are hats that that your main character cat will wear, and they are cute, no question. And there are lots of them. I don't know how many, but there's more than 10, less than 100, I think, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a puzzle game is basically what it comes down to. It's like, how do I get from here to there? What do I move so I can traverse this area? And then you find like different items as you go along, or different mechanics as you go along. To like, you'll find a bone, and then you'll find the dog dish, and then you put the bone in the dog dish, and then the doggy won't bother you because, and then you can go past him
Fair.
Nice.
like that. But yeah,
Fair. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
that's all. I thought it was worth mentioning because I had
Yeah.
a better time than I thought I would with this game.
It's awesome.
Yeah. 30 seconds, Co. You finished Rebirth finally. Thumbs up.
did.
Is that? I saw your tweet on it, and I think I was just like, "Fuck, I need to go back and finish that game." So yeah, 30 seconds. Any big, grand thoughts on the thing?
I hate it.
You hate it? You hate Rebirth?
I hated the fact that it like completely changed my view on life for like a week.
Okay. All right.
One of those. It's one of those types of games.
In a
like,
good
you
or
know,
bad
like,
way?
I mean,
In a way.
I think good. I mean, you know that feeling you got when you finished Edge Runners,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Melancholy.
yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I understand now. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt. It's like, you know, like
Oh
it's
shit!
definitely it's one of those games where you like you finish it and immediately just go find your loved ones and hug them. Just like, you know, it's
Because
one
you
of those
haven't
types.
seen them in like 2 weeks because it's 130 hours long,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I get that. I get that. I understand that. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. No, we will have the last word on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I will eventually finish that and then we will talk about the story
Good one.
on someone with someone here on this show. But for today, I
I
think
definitely
that's it.
messaged Max.
Yeah, and had
And I
just
was
like
and
a
I was like, when we talking about this, man?
Yeah.
He goes, you gotta wait.
yeah,
We
Yeah.
gotta wait.
yeah.
So I think,
Of course.
I think we're
Oh,
all
yeah,
in
he
the
didn't
same
finish
boat,
it
man.
yet.
No,
No, JP
I'm
has
the
not
only
finished
one that
it.
hasn't.
Max has
finished
finished it. but
Max
JP
has
Oh, I
finished.
see what you're saying. I see what
co-finished,
you're saying.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
gotta wait.
Dan and Strippin, like Jesse, all the regulars.
Dan finish it?
I think he did. I want to say he did. But yeah, I gotta get back to it. There's a lot of game in that game. So
A lot of game in
and
that
we're,
game.
we're coming up on a bunch of other games, so we'll see what happens. I would like to finish that though sometime this year. We'll just see what happens. Anyways, we will call it a show. It worked out. Everything, by the way, stopped me, was trying to stop me from doing this show. I had 2 cameras die this week, both about 2,500 apiece. I had a mixer die yesterday. I didn't have hot water till Friday. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, but then the show happened.
like it.
So that's good. I'm glad that we got a show out.
But hey, your internet speed is dynamite.
Look, the internet speed has been rock solid since I got to the house.
You better find some wood.
I mean, okay, sure.
Is he kidding?
I feel
kidding or
no. I'm confident in saying that with the Google Fiber. I've got 9
oh,
gigs.
you got Google Fiber.
I've got 9 gigs up and down.
Nice.
I can't even max that out. Steam is downloading
nice.
like 280 MB a second. It's crazy. It's lightning fast. It's rock solid, and it's not going to mess up, right, Google?
Yeah, he did the thing.
Yeah. No, there's no reason to have this fucking. I can't even approach 9 gigs on any. You know who should? You know, Zeke, actually, who should be hosting your servers? Me.
Yeah. Do you want a little side hustle, JP?
I will. We'll talk about it after the stream.
Okay. Barry, get on it, Barry.
Let's do our shout out. Zeke, start us off. What do you got going on? Where can people check you out?
You betcha. What up, everybody? Thank you guys for being here, and thank you to Co and JP for being the co-host every week on this wonderful podcast that we have. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to catch me, I broadcast Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern every day, just like this show starts same time. Take Mondays off, so I'm off tomorrow. However, on Tuesday, we got a special one because it's the If Then Drawing Winners game choice. And it's a weird one and a special one. It's a rare one, but we got it. I got it in the mail just yesterday. I'm going to show you what it is.
Uh-oh.
I got Metal Gear Ghost Babel for the
hell is
Game
that?
Boy Color.
What even
I know. I
is
didn't know
that?
about it either. It was actually released in the U.S. Very rare cart to find in the U.S. version. It was just called Metal Gear Solid. Confusing? Yes, absolutely
Yes.
confusing. But Metal Gear Ghost Babel on the Game Boy Color, I will be playing it on Tuesday. So if you want to come check out a game that I've never heard of, I didn't even know that was part of the Metal Gear franchise, come on out Tuesday and check it out with me. So that's what I got coming up. Thanks for watching.
What's that cart from?
Zeke, I gotta ask, man, how much did that?
Yeah, we're
much did that
both
run you?
asking. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Japanese cart is drastically less than the U.S. cart. The Japanese cart was, I got it for $70.
Okay.
But the U.S.
Not bad,
cart,
but that's clearly a
250 to
collector's
300.
price, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
it's,
so wait, is
like I
it?
said,
But is it in
drastically
English?
different. It will be.
Okay.
What does that mean? Are you?
Zeke,
That means I own the cart, and I have a way to play games that don't require a cartridge.
You're one of them. You're one of them. Okay.
he's one of them. Yeah.
He's one.
No,
of
I
them.
paid for this fucking thing so I could do that.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
I read about your kind on the internet. Hi.
Shout-outs.
Hi, everybody. As always, thank you to JP and Zeke. It was a lot of fun this week. And thank you to you guys for watching. My name is Ko. Hi. You're going to see a lot of V Rising on the channel this week, as well as some maybe other stuff as well. Don't know what yet, but we're finally getting into that part of the month where we can start kind of diving into it. Oh, one thing we didn't get to talk about today. I played a little bit of Homeworld 3, which was actually awesome. Hi. I'll be out in a minute. Anyway, go out. No. 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 I will play with you in a second. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I will see y'all later. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate God, sir. No. Get out. Okay, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Go over there. Go over there. Okay. Anyway, thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ollie, come on, let's reenact this. Come here. Ollie, come here.
No, the problem is he's in a blanket.
Get out of here,
and
Ollie. You don't want none of this shit. Get out. You're not. Oh, God.
What fun is
look.
that? I don't believe you.
Okay. I got a picture from my wife. I know my boys came from the pool, and he came down here wrapped in like a blanket towel thing. I'm not taking that risk. Just saying.
Yeah.
I got you. Anyways, hey, that's it for Drop Frames this week. We'll be back probably next week. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. And we'll hope to see you guys then. The VOD will be up over at youtube.com/itmeJP if you missed it. And you can grab the podcast where fine podcasts are available. miss
And
my
don't
mom.
forget,
Only
call your
where fine
mom
ones are,
if
though.
you have a good relationship with your mom. Call her. It's Mother's Day.
It is
for
Mother's
US
Day.
people.
Yeah, call your moms. If exactly what Zeke said. If you got a good relationship. We're out here. Have a good one. Bye bye.